Now, here are your hosts, Brock Eward and Mike Salk.
Hello! All right, hello. Good morning, everybody. Brock and Salk Show. Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Seattle Sports application. Yes, it's a formal Friday, even though it kind of feels different because yesterday was such a big day with the draft. And, of course, find us on 97.3 HD2, crystal clear, high definition radio. Great way to listen. Not lazy at all to listen there. I mean, in fact, sometimes it takes a little time. Like, you gotta like click on 97.3 and then wait sometimes for the HD part to pop up, and then you got to select two. But then just make it a preset, and it'll pop up each time. HD radio is like the most inconsistent style of technology ever, but it's really good once you figure it out. And so I love listening to the station that way. You should as well. Did I say the word lazy? I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to say lazy, and there's no reason to today.
Like
I don't know. No, I shouldn't have more, and that's on me because there's no reason to talk about anything being lazy today because whatever narrative was out there, apparently it wasn't that lazy. Apparently there was some legitimacy to it. Because you know what the Seahawks needed to do and did yesterday? Draft an offensive lineman. They didn't overthink it. They didn't get too cute. There was no mystery. There was no messing around. They just straight up drafted a dude who played their most needed spot in the right position to take him. That's it. Really simple. Just draft the guy you need at the position you need at the right spot in the draft. Seahawks get an A. A for yesterday. We'll see what they get for the rest of the draft and how they handle everything else. But you know what they get yesterday? An A. An A. That's an A. Is Grey Zabel going to end up being Steve Hutchinson? I don't know. Can't tell you. I don't have any idea. We'll see how he makes the transition. We'll see if he ends up being better than Donovan Jackson. We'll see if he ends up being better than some of the other guys. I don't have any clue which one's going to be best. I can tell you I really enjoyed watching Tyler Booker do his little run through the tunnel. That guy, that is unbridled joy. That was tremendous. He was my favorite part of the draft. But he wasn't available. A lot of the guys we talked about weren't available. The guy that was available was Grey Zabel, and they took him. No messing around. No trading back. No, hey, maybe we should grab this guy. Ooh, what if we tried it? No. Just take the guy you need. And that's exactly what they did. I love it. Absolutely love it. He's going to play guard. There's nothing not to like about this pick. Nothing. Not one thing. I have not one complaint. You had to do it yesterday. Now, heading into the draft, we talked about some other options, right? Some other things they could have done. What would have been my preference? Yeah, I was sort of excited that maybe they would trade up and try to take the pass rusher from Georgia, and that would have been cool. Jalen Walker. That would have been great. And he slipped, by the way. He did slip past Carolina. Man, Carolina drafting Ted Rowe and McMillian. No, there's a reason that organization's not good. Not good at all. But, okay, so he slips past 8, and I was definitely on Jalen Walker watch. But I think the reality is once he got to 14, we knew that, and DJ told us pretty much straight up, like, look, the Falcons are going to take him at 15 if he's there. So I'm going to guess, and I don't know this, but even if you had wanted to do that, and I don't know if John did, even if you had wanted to do it, I'm going to guess Indy was like, no, look, we're taking Tyler Warren, and we're not going to trade back 4 picks and get cute about it. We want Tyler Warren, especially after Colson Loveland was already off the board early. So I'm going to guess that even if you'd wanted to trade up there, they're just like, yeah, no, we want this pick. Maybe if you had 16, we'd think about it, but that's just too much risk for us. We're going to take the pick. Sorry. And again, I don't even know if the Seahawks wanted to do that. Who was my second choice? Kid from Michigan, Kenneth Grant, gone. Gone. Kelvin Banks, gone. That wasn't an option. Tyler Booker, gone. Not an option. In fact, before you picked, there were 17 picks made, right? 17 picks made before the Seahawks were finally up at 18. Of those 17 picks, 12 of them were line of scrimmage players. 12. Now, maybe I'm being generous. I'm taking offensive linemen, tight ends, defensive tackles, and edge players. That's my view of the line. All right, am I exaggerating a little bit by including tight ends? Maybe, but I'm talking, non-wide receiver, corner, quarterback, safety, etc. 12 of the 17. Guys, that was what this draft was all about. If the draft had gone differently and more skill position guys or outside guys had gone early, okay, fine. Then maybe you can get cute. Then maybe you can trade back. You couldn't trade back. No way. Not with the way everything else was going. You wanted to trade back and risk losing everybody? No, absolutely not. Not yesterday. No way, no how. Can't do it. Couldn't do it. Love what they did. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Got no issues whatsoever. How confident was John that they would have Zabel at number 18?
I'd say like 80%. Everybody was talking like they didn't know when the guards were going to start going. We got a little jiggy when Book got taken with Dallas, but there's a couple guys there that we liked, but
yeah, there you go. He got a little jiggy at that point. Will Smith style.
That raised my eyebrow when I heard it too. I was like, that's the first thing I think of. I feel like I never hear anyone use that word unless it's the Will Smith style.
Got a little jiggy at that point. All right, that was surprising. 253 says, "Good to hear your voice, Salk. Glad you still have your head." Yeah, I survived. Tedero McMillan going at number 8 was certainly a nice aid to that. But also, just once John made this pick, don't you just believe that whole thing was a smokescreen? There's no freaking way that they were going to take Tedero McMillan at 18. I just don't buy it. I just don't believe it, not even a little. I just don't.
I didn't have that hard time believing it going into the draft just because of they always pick something that you didn't expect. Like,
right.
No one thought they were going to take a cornerback when they took Devin Witherspoon. So I thought it was a possibility. I
can't imagine looking at this team and looking at this draft that they could possibly look at it and say, this is what we got to do. We just have to take him. And then just hearing that sound yesterday that Brock had us play of McShay just absolutely destroying him. None of it fits Mike Macdonald at all. None of it. And if there was an element of, hey, we got to move on from DK and buy in and this and that, you really want to be out of the frying pan into the fire immediately? That just doesn't make any sense. It never did, which is why I kept saying my head would explode if it happened. So, yeah, no, I'm happy today. I'm happy today. Now, I don't know whether Zabel makes a difference in year one. I think you guys know how I feel about rookies and counting on them. But as a number 18 pick, as an interior offensive lineman, and how crazy to be the second interior offensive lineman off the board at 18. It shows you this league, man, they saw what Philadelphia did last year, what Detroit did, and they're like, I want to do that. Like, yeah, no kidding. What Baltimore's been doing. So in another year, Zabel probably falls a little farther than that. But hey, whatever. Like, that's the draft that you were given this season. Do you have any concerns? I got one. Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's fair to be concerned about him coming from North Dakota State and not playing, high-level power football. I think that's fair, don't you? I think that's fair. Now, is it a concern? Sure. But I'll keep saying you didn't really have much of a choice. If you wanted an offensive lineman, okay, however many of them ended up going here in the first round, by the time you picked at 18, there were only 3 left. Right? Only 2 guys went in the first round after the Seahawks picked. That was, 3 more. Jackson, Connerly, and Simmons. Jackson, Connerly, and Simmons. Now, those are obviously, 2 Ohio State guys and an Oregon guy. Yeah, so 3. Jackson, Connerly, and Simmons. I can add. I can, right?
Yeah.
1 + 1 + 1 is 3.
Yeah. And I think the other 2 are more supposed to be tackles, right? Connerly and Simmons?
I think so. Again, you can always try to move someone inside. Simmons coming off an injury. That one always seemed like it was not a likely possibility. We did talk about Connerly and Jackson. But okay, like you're looking at it and saying, okay, we prefer this to that. And I'm going to guess, I don't know, but I'm going to guess the athleticism was a huge part of this, that they wanted athleticism. And Zabel brought that more than anybody else. So is it a little concerning to take a guy from North Dakota State? Yeah, sure, it is.
But we've seen success from the smaller schools at that position more than a lot of others.
Yeah, again, like I'm not sitting here ripping him for. I'm giving him an A. That's probably the only thing that would keep me from giving them like an A+. Like, all right, hey, what are you going to do? But that's where he went to school. And it sounds like he could have gone somewhere else last year for a lot of NIL money. And he's like, I'm good. I'm going to stick around. That's not really who I am. I want to finish this thing here. I want to finish what I started. I'm a believer in the place I'm at.
Which you like to see. And then we heard McShay say that that's a big reason why some of these, like the Senior Bowl and the Shrine Bowl, are important, because he got to show what he could do against the higher level competition there.
And he did pretty well.
Some of those questions.
Yeah. So, okay, is it fair to wonder? Yeah, I think it's fair to wonder. But that's who was available to you.
I also
That's
wonder.
how the draft played out.
Yeah. I also wonder, had Booker and Zabel both been there, if they still would have just taken Zabel anywhere, because there's so much out there, including what Brady said, saying Booker just didn't really fit the scheme.
I think that's exactly right. But boy, he seemed fun yesterday, didn't he?
Really fun.
Dude, that seemed really fun. But so did Zabel. We'll hopefully get a chance to talk to him this morning. We'll see. Depends how many Busch Lights he finished off last night. According to him, that was the celebration. So you'll hear from him.
12-hour celebration window rule.
Oh, that's it? They get 12 hours and then, hey, on the flight, start talking, let's go?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you can put down a few Busch Lights. You know, when you're 6'6", 310, I think you can put down a whole case in those 12 hours. So we'll be talking about this kid all morning long. We'll take some phone calls. You'll hear about him. You'll hear from him. Brock will be in eventually. We got a lot to do. It's Brock and Salk. Seattle Sports on 710. SeattleSports.com.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2.
Aaron Goldsmith joining us now.
For the success that they are having, you can't necessarily pin it all on one guy or one group.
But it feels like we're seeing the Mariners win in multiple ways, which is different.
One of the things that's encouraging to me, they've won consistently in that stretch of time without their outlier strength.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. You'll hear that sound a lot at Queen Charlotte Lodge. Experience a luxury resort, breathtaking wildlife, spectacular wilderness, and amazing fishing at Queen Charlotte Lodge in British Columbia. Reserve now for peak king salmon runs and plentiful halibut this May and June. At Queen Charlotte Lodge, it's fishing first class. Go to fishqcl.com. That's fishqcl.com. And remember, our dollar is worth $1.40 north of the border.
At West Hills Autoplex, we thoroughly inspect and prepare every used car to be like new. Because to you, it is new. We also pay you top dollar for your vehicle. So there's no better place to give your old car a new story. Auto Center Way exit, Highway 3 Bremerton.
Can you take the power of your home internet almost anywhere? Well, with Xfinity, you can. Do more of what you love in the places you go the most with internet and mobile together. Xfinity built a network that's 99.99% reliable. Plus, Xfinity Mobile, well, they have Wi-Fi power boost, giving you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and out on the go. So get the same reliable network in the places you need it the most. Maybe the coffee shop, the grocery store, or at the game. Whatever you're into, you'll love how fast you can do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. And now through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for a year with no contract. And save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T Plus. Ask how to get a free premium 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with store bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G, Internet Plus One Unlimited Welcome Line, and AT&T Internet 300 Plus One Unlimited Starter SL Line. Xfinity Internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
Discover LeMay, America's car museum in Tacoma. Explore 300 world-class cars, 100 years of history, and the Shinka exhibit with 50 iconic Japanese sports cars. Thrilling race simulators and fun for the whole family. Visit americascarmuseum.org.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
All power, zero compromise. Ego cordless outdoor power equipment features advanced lithium battery technology that exceeds the power and performance of gas without the noise, fuss, or fumes. From mowers and trimmers to blowers and pressure washers, one battery powers over 90 tools. No wonder it's the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Power beyond belief. Visit egopowerplus.com to learn more or to find an Ego retailer near you. That's egopowerplus.com.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
Yeah, I have a ton of really memorable customers. So one of my favorite customers I've ever had, he came in and had a really bad experience with several different dealerships. He just lost his husband. His husband left him with a truck, and he was like, I don't need a truck. Like, this is so impractical for me. And it was a really emotional decision for him because it was one of the last things that he had, obviously husbands. We were like, it's no problem. Like, we're going to help you. And we did the process the same way that we always do the process. And we helped him trade in his truck for a beautiful new Rogue. And that was really cool. And he bought his second car from us. And I'm sure when he needs a third car, he'll come back and buy his third car from Nissan too. Afterwards, to thank us, he sent us this beautiful basket of like candies and fruits and stuff.
Making a great day for the people around you is making a great day for yourself. The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Hey, it's me, the foul pole at T-Mobile Park. But it's about time they call me the fair pole because those are the moments I live for. When Cal's up to the plate, I'm always on high alert.
The big dumper with a 2-run blast.
And then there's Randy Arozarena, launching missiles into the stands, flipping his bat so high it practically reaches my eye level.
Blasted back, Randy Arozarena strikes again.
And J-Rod, heck, when he connects, he makes the whole building shake.
And it's gone. Goodbye, baseball. Julio Rodriguez.
So come on down and take a seat beside me. You might even go home with a souvenir. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
The Mariners are back in town, and you won't want to miss 2 great giveaways as they take on the Marlins. Score a City Connect captain's hat tonight at 6:40 and a Moose Shoulder plush tomorrow at 6:40. Plus, grab value game seats for just $10 Tuesday and Wednesday against the Angels. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
With the 18th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Grey Zabel, guard, North Dakota State.
Yeah, the Green Bay crowd not sure what to say, but after all the conversations, debates, head fakes, analysis, the Seahawks did the sensible thing. They drafted Grey Zabel, guard, offensive lineman, versatility out of North Dakota State. Really made his name for himself at the Senior Bowl where he dominated players from much larger schools. 6'6", 312. Seems big enough to me, certainly big enough to play anywhere up front, but it's the quickness and the athleticism that should make him a really good fit in Clint Kubiak's system. He was in contact with the Seahawks throughout.
Yep. I got the privilege to do an interview with Steve Hutchinson down in Mobile, Alabama, and what an honor it was being able to talk to him and kind of through that process. It was super cool to experience that. So. I interviewed with him at the Combine, and I knew this was maybe a possibility, and I was just kind of holding my breath. I'll pick 18.
I listened to the whole conference call yesterday. It's great. We'll be playing you sound from it throughout the morning, and then hopefully get a chance to talk to him maybe later in the show. But, yeah, I mean, like, he was great. I mean, like, if we've been talking about needing a leader and sort of a vocal leader for that offensive line, it's not necessarily going to happen as a rookie. And I know offensive linemen don't talk to the media a lot, but just that personality really comes through. And look, ask an offensive lineman how they're going to celebrate. You're going to get an offensive lineman kind of answer.
What do you do tonight? What do you do tomorrow before the Seahawks send you out here?
Man, I'm probably going to start diving into these bush lights and celebrating.
Greg Bell, very excited about that answer. And who can blame him? That's kind of what you're hoping to hear. Why is he here? John Schneider gives a pretty simple answer.
Exciting night. We were able to land our number one interior offensive lineman, Grey Zabel.
That's really all you got to hear. I mean, he can go on from there and describe what it is he likes, but he was their number one interior offensive lineman.
I like how he finishes the blocks and then finding his targets down the field in space. Obviously, he's a really great athlete, how he moves, and then, it's easy to overlook pass protection. You talk wide zone all the time, but you could argue that's kind of where it starts in the evaluation process. And pretty hard to find a rep that he had a hard time winning down in Mobile. So. And he took a lot of them.
All right, nothing not to like. As I've said, the way the draft was going, you weren't going to trade back and still get the kind of player you needed. So they did what they had to do. They drafted a legitimate dude up front on this offensive line, which is exactly what they needed. Now, big day today. Teams got 2 picks in the second, 2 in the third, and still some real dudes available, guys that we've talked about quite a bit.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Draft in general, pretty simple. Everyone wanted to get their big people. 13 of the first 18 were offensive linemen, defensive linemen, or tight ends. The mission, clear. Get your meat and potatoes. Don't be distracted by shiny objects on the outside. And that's exactly what teams did for the most part. Number one draft for me would be the Browns. I love what the Browns did yesterday. You trade back just a couple of spots. You add a first rounder next year. With Jacksonville, look, that team may be back in the top 10 again. You may, and so might you. You still don't have a quarterback. You could end up with 2 top 10 picks in next year's draft, which is supposed to be quarterback rich. And oh, by the way, you still get Mason Graham, who I love. Like, that's a tremendous, tremendous day for the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, I'm surprised Shador slipped out of the first round entirely. We should have listened to Brian, Hawk Blogger, when he told us that was going to happen. I did not love what Pete Carroll did at number 6. I still don't know why Jalen Milroe was at the draft. It didn't make a lot of sense. Nobody seemed like they came close to drafting him yesterday. A couple of wide receivers went. I don't know about number 8, Tedoroa McMillan to the Panthers. Ugh. Emeka to the Bucks, though, pretty cool at number 19, local kid. And then Matthew Golden to Green Bay at number 23, whatever. And then the Falcons. The Falcons traded up for the only guy drafted yesterday that I had not heard of. Andy's got character concerns. Mike Tannenbaum unimpressed.
But for the Falcons to go up 20 spots and get up a 1 next year for a player that unanimously, when you talk to people, there were, like, just to be generous, massive bumps in the road, concern about consistency, love of ball, some really tough things to hear about this guy.
Ugh. And then the character off the field stuff. Ugh, no, thank you. And of course, I should mention the Eagles, of course, probably got the steal of the draft. Jahad Campbell falls to them at number 31. Unbelievable.
They had 5 Alabama players on their 53-man roster last year. And
I think everyone else went to Georgia.
Pretty much,
Like,
yeah.
they've been pretty clear. By the way, when Zabel was up, when they took him at 18, the only other player I thought they might take there was Jahad Campbell. That was like, okay, if they go in one of these 2 directions, I'll be pretty happy.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
All right, make it 5. 5 straight series wins for the Mariners. All 3 in the road trip coming after losing the opening game. Pretty impressive. Yesterday, interesting. They scored twice in the first, thanks to a Mitch Garver double. Twice in the second. And then that was about it for the offense, but it didn't matter. Brian Wu combined with 3 relievers to make it hold up. The offensive heroes, Mitch Garver had the 2-run double, and then a couple of RBIs. Dylan Moore with a sac fly, Julio with a sacrifice ground out, and that was it, right? This is about Brian Wu, who right now is pitching like the actual ace of this team, the only one giving them consistency and quality starts and all of that. So M's finished the road trip 6-3. They're now 14-11, half game behind Texas for the division lead. They'll host the Marlins and then the Angels at home, so not the world's hardest homestand coming up. Then well, they're doing that. Texas heads for San Francisco. So very decent chance you could be in first place by the end of this weekend. That is everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. All right, we got a lot of options of what to do, but we might as well open up the phones, right? What'd you think? Right? Maybe later if we open up the phones again, I guess we could do it. Look, Friday's sort of our open phones day, so I'll open this up for whatever you guys want to do. What did you make of the pick yesterday? If you want to give it a grade, I'll give it an A. I'm giving it an A. That's a today grade. I mean, look, like, we'll see what happens, but, like, I give it an A. After that, what'd you make of the pick yesterday? What do you want to see them do today? Who on the board do you love that you is it worth trading up to the top of the second round? You can do it. It doesn't cost that. I mean, if you want to trade up to the top of the second round, it'll cost you your third round pick, one of your third round picks. That's essentially what it takes. To go from 50 to 35 or 52 to 35 would cost you 38. Like that's the pick. That's what it costs. Okay? So if you want to trade up, it costs you one of your third rounders. Interested?
I bet you we're going to have a lot of callers interested talking about Nick Manwari.
He's out there. He didn't get drafted. The most common name we heard yesterday when we asked you guys who you wanted was Nick Manwari, the safety from Carolina. He's still, or South Carolina. He's still there. You want to give up one of the third-round picks and go up and get him? You can. A second and a third gets you to the top of the second round. Interested? All right, let's hear from you guys. Let's talk together. Let's have a little group talk this morning. Give us a call, 866-979-3776. It's the morning after the first round of the draft with a whole lot more to come. Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710 SeattleSports.com.
The first round's in the books.
The Seattle Seahawks select Grey Zabel.
I'd ask Brock how he feels, but I think the world is aware.
This guy is your starting guard.
Today, live second and third round coverage starting at 4. Draft coverage continues on YouTube and the app at 5:30 when the red-hot Mariners return home for the first of 3 against the Marlins on 710. The app lets you listen to both. Only on Seattle Sports.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
What up, fellow Gen Xers? Elizabeth Banks here. As the original Latchkey kids, we took things into our own hands, like house keys and video game controllers. And now it's time for us to do it again, because the recommended age to get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. We're at over 6 times greater risk compared to adults under 50. So go to VaxAssist.com and schedule. Gen X, this is our shot. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-371-0505. 800-371-0505.
Progressive knows sports brings people together, but you gotta feel bad for people who don't even get it. Some people will never know what it's like to see their favorite team's hopes decided by a ping pong ball to draft the next superstar. Or not. I mean, sure, it's silly for your happiness to hinge on the success of a 20-year-old entry-level employee, but you just can't help yourself. The stress is exhilarating. Progressive can't bring people together like the draft, but we can bring your home and auto insurance together with a bundle. So switch and see if you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
SoFi Personal Loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible: overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right, pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi Personal Loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. We help all types of injury victims, like Bobby, who was hurt riding the bus.
The bus made a left turn, and the scooter that I was on overturned. Ended up having surgery on my back. So I knocked on the door of Warrior Injury Law, and I thought if anyone could help me with my situation, they could, and they did. They everyday people who work for everyday people. I would recommend this company over all the rest.
If you've been injured, call us at 253-WARRIOR. Warrior Injury Law. Battle tested.
Washington is leading the way in car theft reduction. Car thefts dropped by 32% from 2023 to 2024 in our state, but there's still work to be done. Help keep your car safe with these simple and important tips. Don't leave your car running unattended. Park in well-lit areas. Lock up every time. Keep valuables out of sight. Use an anti-theft device like a steering wheel lock. Prevent the theft and keep you and your vehicle safe. These tips are brought to you by the Washington Auto Theft Prevention Authority.
Old windows cost you money and security. Lake Washington Windows and Doors installs energy-efficient, high-security windows that lower your bills and increase protection. With leak armor installation and lifetime warranties, you're protected for life. Choose LakeWashingtonWindows.com today.
Right now, have ultra-efficient, clean technology windows installed and pay zero down with zero interest and zero payments for 18 months. Only from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. And they'll even pay your sales tax. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
The Mariners are all about giving you more baseball for your buck. With Mariners Value Games, you can score seats starting at $10 on select dates all season long. Plus, be sure to check out the expanded Mariners Value Menu. Available every game and featuring 14 items, all under $5. Enjoy ballpark classics like hot dogs and nachos, new treats like Pocky Sticks and Little Bites mini muffins, and more. Go to mariners.com/value to grab your value game tickets and check out the full slate of value options at T-Mobile Park. Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Thank you to everybody for immediately writing in to correct me. I didn't realize Texas played last night. I thought I had looked earlier. I thought they didn't play. So my bad. The Mariners are in first place right now. You don't have to wait. Texas lost last night to the A's. I thought that they were off, and instead, Mariners are tied for first place and obviously would win a tiebreaker with Texas as of today. Still got a little ways to go, what with it being April 25th and all. But first place Mariners, pretty cool to say here on April 25th, especially given the way the season started. All right, 866-979-3776. Grey Zabel is the pick. What do you make of it? What would you like them to do next? What did you think of the way the draft went yesterday? Where are you on what John Schneider is doing, what Mike Macdonald is doing? I will say, as we get to the calls here in just a moment, and by the way, what's with Seattle? I got all these guys, I got tons of people on the phone, and not one of them is here in Seattle. None? Is there something going on with 97.3 HD2 or with 710 AM? I got Wenatchee and Wisconsin, and Arkansas, and Idaho, and Spokane. No one in Seattle has an opinion on what the Seahawks did yesterday? Only people who live far afield? Okay. Feels a little weird to me, but I mean, I guess maybe it's just too early. Come on, people, let's go. It's a Friday. You got a little something to say today. What do you want them to do next? Second round? What do you think of last night? Come on now. I'm going to turn it over to you guys, and we will start in Spokane because Wydell was up first. Good morning, Wydell. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Super good.
Yeah, no, I give the Seahawks an A+ on this one. They took the best available, or actually the best on their board, interior offensive lineman, which was their greatest need. I mean, they tried to be cute. They didn't try to do anything too exotic. They just took what they needed. Yep. And that's that last 2 years now. best interior defensive line this year. And
That's a good point. Yeah, 2 years in a row, your first pick, you kind of let the board speak to you and then take the thing that mattered most. Yeah, it's a good way of looking at it. I do wonder why there was all this sort of pushback about the narrative and all that. Like, yeah, man, like you see it too. I don't know why there's a reason to be defensive about it. Just go make the pick you made, which is exactly what they did. Like, I don't know why that needs to come with, lazy narrative, this and that. Like, yeah, it's hard. Everybody's looking for offensive linemen. Well, then go draft one. I mean, we know everyone's looking for offensive linemen based on how many were drafted in the first round yesterday. A whole ton of them. Essentially all of the ones we talked about as being first or early second round picks, they all went. By the way, if you do want to criticize it, and I got a ton of calls here, I'll get to all of these, but I did say this. Remember our guy, Kevin Cole, that we talked to, who put together the value gain, surplus value for draft picks. He agreed with me on the Browns trade, by the way. The Browns get over $51 million in projected surplus value just by making that trade with the Jaguars and doing what they did. That's pretty crazy. But he has a chart that just puts where people were drafted, their big board value, and their mock draft value. You know who the three best teams were? The highest, top right corner is always the best part of a graph. Eagles, obviously, number one, with Jahad Campbell getting him as late as they did, plus the Ravens and the Chiefs. Like the three teams that are just kind of doing it best. And, they were 1, 2, 3, and they're like separated by a large margin. Seahawks finish in the bottom left quadrant of that. And maybe that's just the value of an interior offensive lineman. Maybe it's a small school guy like Grey Zabel. Quite frankly, I don't really care. It's what they needed to do. And the way the draft was going, this was the way it had to get done. But just FYI, that's kind of what it looks like. Donovan Jackson's actually below them. So was Tyler Booker. So, his chart doesn't like mocks. And I think that's mostly because they don't do that well on the big board because of the position they play. But that's what you needed. Like, that's just kind of how it is. 866-979-3776. Go to Bo in Idaho, who we talked to yesterday. Good morning, Bo.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
You got it.
I love the pick. I mean, it wasn't cute. I love what the last caller said, and we went and we addressed the big boys, the big hogs up front. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, like, what else are they going to do? Like, was there anything else that they really should have done yesterday at 18? I mean, maybe there are a lot of folks yesterday on the Nick Eamon-Worry bandwagon, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't trade up for him now. That'd be interesting. But come on, at 18, the way that draft was going with all of the big people coming off the board, but were you one of the people who wanted the safety yesterday?
That would have been nice, of course, but I think it's a lot nicer and has a sweeter tune that we took a big guy up front. I think that's what the Seahawks fans and everybody really wanted deep down. We know that we needed to address that.
What about today?
I'm hoping we get Nick Eamon-Worry. I practiced that, so I was ready. But I think that moving up from the 50th overall pick maybe might be in play, but I don't know how bad they want him. Will Johnson, if he keeps sliding too, and then Shador, you gotta at least think about it if he's still there. But the Browns picked twice.
Shador's story is so crazy, right? And I was legitimately shocked when Pittsburgh didn't take him. I was legitimately shocked. I was pretty sure Pittsburgh was going to take him. When they didn't, that kind of blew my mind. I was very, very surprised that it went down that way. All right, appreciate the phone call. Let me address the Nick Eamon-Worry idea. If you want to trade up, if you really want to trade up, you have 52 and you have 82. I looked in at the draft chart yesterday, so I know there's a bunch of different versions of it, but 52 and 82 equals 34. Draft starts at 33, right? So if you want to trade up to the second pick in the second round, it costs you one of your third rounders, plus obviously one of your second rounders. So you would have at that point 34, 50, and still have the other third rounder, which I think is 80, 81, something like that. So would you do it? You want one of these guys that's, I'll tell you what, if Jahad Campbell was there, I would say yes. If he had not, I would have traded up to 31 and taken Jahad Campbell before I would trade up to 34 and take Nick Eamon-Worry. If they could have traded up for Jahad Campbell and ended yesterday losing, okay, a third and maybe a fifth or a fourth, whatever, but ended yesterday with Grey Zabel and Jahad Campbell, that would have been an unbelievable draft yesterday. Those are the two guys I would have liked them to get at 18, based on the way the draft was going.
Do Campbell's injuries concern you at all?
I don't know. I don't know enough to tell you. I don't know enough to tell you that. But just, the guy is, everything we heard about him just kind of made sense. And Mike Macdonald. And I just kept thinking last night about Roquan Smith for whatever reason, how Baltimore traded for him and built around him and what he did for them. I don't know if I'm trading up for safety. Sorry, guys. Not when there's enough dudes who I think can be available at 50 and 52. Jared Wilson, the center, and the other, if you want to go two guards, right, and bring in Tate Ratledge, and all the wide receivers Brock mentioned. A lot of guys still there.
Since they didn't take someone in the first round like people were predicting, Jalen Noel was the guy that Brock previewed.
Yep.
Still out there that's pretty intriguing.
Yeah, so there's a lot. I don't think if Jahad Campbell was there, I'd do it. I really would. But I don't see anybody, including Eamon Warrior, even though that's fun, that I would trade all the way up to 34, give up a third-round pick in order to get him. 866-979-3776. Let me go to Rick. I said Arkansas. Let's go to Arkansas. What's up, man?
Good morning, Mike. Hey, everything went sort of chalk. I mean,
pretty chalk.
Half like Daniel Jeremiah and all the other pundits predicted Grey Zabel, so I guess it just fell the way it fell.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it did go pretty
the
chalk.
I wanted, but I'm not disappointed. I think they did a good thing. But today, I've been saying today is the day.
Mm-hmm.
You got 4 opportunities, and like you're saying, maybe 3. And I don't think that there's been a lot of deals this year in the NFL. So I don't know why, but I'm guessing that the Hawks wanted to trade up, trade down, and no one was really talking.
I'm going to guess it's a good
different in day 2.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. It may be different in day 2. Day 1 seemed to be so much about people just take the big guy. And you don't need to generally trade up and down for that. And especially as we've heard over and over again, a lot of guys with similar draft grades. So if you got a lot of guys with similar draft grades, then there's not a ton of need for trading up and down. And where did people trade? Generally, if you're going to trade up or down, you trade up for quarterbacks, and that did happen yesterday, right? Giants trading up to get a quarterback. Or, Jacksonville trading up for a unique player like Travis Hunter. Those are sort of your 2 big trade-ups yesterday. Or Atlanta just randomly giving up picks, take a guy that nobody likes, nobody's ever heard of. Sometimes you get the random trade-up that doesn't make any sense.
Well, Atlanta's done that 2 years in a row now with kind of eye-opening picks.
I like what they did last year, though, and I liked it at the time. I had no problems with the Penix thing at the time. You think there's any chance at this point that they trade? Who said yesterday that there was a Cousins to Pittsburgh kind of idea out there? I forget who said that. But at this point, Pittsburgh didn't draft anybody in the first round of play. Like, you think they trade Kirk Cousins to Pittsburgh?
Would make sense, especially if he who must not be named is going to keep holding out.
Well, that whole thing is absurd. I just can't imagine that that's going to, ever come to pass. So, yeah, I'm going to assume that it goes that way. We'll see. 866-979-3776. Keep this going. We'll go to, as I said, Wenatchee. Connor in Wenatchee. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You got it.
Personally, I loved the pick last night. I mean, it wasn't the sexy pick, but it was the right pick. And in fact, I wouldn't even be mad if they went interior O-line again today in the second round, even if that meant trading up for one of the guys they really love, if that was the case. But after seeing the haul that Atlanta got last night, it did make me a little bit envious. That the Rams got. It did make me a little bit envious, what we could have done if we traded back, but still the right call.
I do love the idea of getting the second pick next year, or a first rounder next year. I just think there's so much value to having a first rounder already, 2 first rounders going into a draft. But again, the draft didn't really fall that way for them. I think you could have been a lot more flexible to do stuff like that. If all the mocks had New Orleans draft in one of the quarterbacks, right? And instead they took Kelvin Banks. That was one of those picks that sort of messed things up a little bit, right? It's just another Minnesota. Did anybody have them taking Tyler Booker? But they did. And so as those guys are coming off the board, you're like, man, I don't know how far back into this you can trade, especially if the Seahawks looked at it and didn't see Connerly or Simmons as guards. Like, just, hey, sorry, we just think they're tackles and we don't see them. I don't know if that's the case. It always seems like tackles could always move to guard. But maybe they just saw a huge drop-off there. And at the end of the day, I can't get mad at that. If you want the guy that you think is truly the best interior offensive lineman, you can't afford, you're not in a position to be able to afford to compromise there. Like, oh, no, it's cool. We'll get our second or third or fourth or fifth. Yeah, no. If your guy's there at that position this year, you had to do it. Had to do it.
I just rolled in some sound from Daniel Jeremiah. He said in the post that they were fielding trade back calls for days, but in the end, he says Zabel is a day one starter and one of the safest players in the draft.
I think that's exactly right. And in this case, generally I like upside more than safety. Like, not the position, but the state of being. And in this case, I think they did the right thing. I think you need, again, this was such a position of need, you didn't have much of a choice. I did get a text from DJ, by the way, right after they picked Zabel. I don't know if you guys can see this. But it's a little moving pic. Can you guys see that on the screen? I think you can. It looks pretty big.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, wait, there you go. Shut off your mic so we can see. Here's DJ. And there's a little movement. He gave me a little side eye when they took Grey Zabel. I appreciate that, DJ. I appreciate the side eye. That was very nice. 866-979-3776. Who should we go to? Let's go to Kent. There we go. Justin's in Kent. What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Great.
Hey, so I really like the pick. I think, like you were saying, all those big guys were being taken in that first round. So in that sense, I feel like we got the guy that slipped. You can never really go wrong with number one, overall guard. I don't think you can really I think we've seen it in Seattle. You can't really transition a tackle inside the O-line. So I'm glad that we got that interior offensive line. As far as today, I wouldn't be mad if we did trade and get that safety. But there's also that wide receiver out of, I think it's Missouri. I wouldn't trade for him, but I wouldn't be too upset if we got him. I think now it's more, we don't have as big of a need as offensive line. So kind of the filler in long-term positions like the safety, like wide receiver, I wouldn't be too mad. The only pick I would be absolutely mad at is Shedeur Sanders.
I don't know, man. They're not going to take Shedeur. I don't see that happening. I do kind of like the way he handled yesterday. Like, yeah, it was awful for him. And he stood up. He didn't run away. He made a statement to everybody there, and he was positive. I thought he handled himself pretty well. I think he's getting a little punished for the sins of the father. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Yeah,
I heard Marcus Spears talking about him this morning, and he was essentially saying that he just doesn't do anything that exciting. And he was like, do you get excited to watch Geno Smith? Do you think he's going to win you a big game? That was his comparison. It's like,
That's
oh,
funny.
wow.
Well, you know what? I don't get excited to watch Geno Smith, and I'm kind of relieved I don't have to anymore. It's pretty nice.
Well, that was his...
That was his boring comp.
Equated Shedeur Sanders too.
Did anybody get excited to watch Geno Smith? No.
Oh.
Like, come on. We all know that to be the case. We know that's true. Nobody gets excited to watch Geno. Doesn't mean he's not a decent player, but he's not exciting. No, not even close. The other thing I will say about Zabel, and maybe this reflects back on some of the other guys that were potentially available, Connerly or Simmons or Jackson, he's just more athletic. And he did talk about running some of the outside zone that the Seahawks are going to be running a lot of with their new scheme. And they didn't do it a ton for his first few years at North Dakota State, but I guess they did it a lot more last year.
I love outside zone. Get to be a big athlete and go run out in space and really show your athleticism along the line of scrimmage. So we started running a little bit more outside zone at North Dakota State this year with our head coach coming in, and he's an Iowa guy. And we just talked about the importance of understanding the defense and stop beating your head against the wall trying to run A-gap power and their stacks in the box. Let's go get to the edge. Let's use our athleticism, and let's go play ball and let our running backs make us right. So I think outside zone's a really fun scheme to run, and I'm super excited that the Seahawks are kind of diving into that.
Well, and it fits him, right? Super quick off the ball, athletic, power, leaping ability, all that stuff. Yeah, it makes
And there was some
perfect
question
sense.
as to whether Tyler Booker could make that transition.
Exactly. And I think maybe with Donovan Jackson too. So, all right, good. Get the guy that does what you need. I just want to be clear about something today because last caller brought up taking a wide receiver. For all of my head explosion references, I have no problems with them taking a wide receiver in the second round. I just want to be clear about that. I am not anti-wide receiver in general. Just that you can't do it before you handle your most important piece of business.
Well, and I think Brock had gotten us to a point where none of us wanted Teteroa McMillan specifically.
Well, that too. I mean, but dude, my head still would have exploded if it had been Matthew Golden there. Like, I still would have been furious. Maybe not as furious, but furious. But second round? Like, okay, look, I'm not against the idea that wide receiver would be a relevant pick for the Seahawks right now. Improve that position, get the right guy, all in. I got no problems with that in the second or third round. It was just first round. 866-979-3776. Dakota's in Wisconsin. What's up, Dakota? Were you there last night?
Hey, no, I was going to go, but ended up having to work instead, so I got to watch it from the comfort of my own home.
All right.
But I'd like to talk about John and Mike. It's kind of nice seeing that year two, there's kind of a clearer vision, and we're bringing in guys that feel like Mike Macdonald guys, kind of like how when he was in Baltimore, it kind of felt like Baltimore guys.
Yep.
And listening to the interview yesterday after the draft with Gray, like he's a Mike guy, and looking at the draft room in Las Vegas, not to get on another team, but you can kind of tell Pete's running the show there. And now that we're in year two of Mike and John, it's kind of very clear that John is the head of the ship now. And I think the past two drafts kind of show that. Love the Gray pick. Would love to, how you talked earlier, I don't think it's given up too much to trade up to 34 to get Imanwari. Would love to see what Mike can do with him in the box and move him around and be that chess piece. Would also love to see if we can get big body receiver, that Nick Nash out of San Jose State, go up above the rim and get the ball on day 3 maybe. And maybe an underrated defensive end, maybe Ahmed Hassanin out of Boise State, just starting his football journey.
I've seen
would
that
be
guy's name a
to see
few
what
times.
Mike can do with him.
Yeah, maybe if that's a late round pick. Again, now I'm probably going to be out on D-end. Like for me, D-end was either get somebody better than what you've got already or forget it. Like you're set for now. So D-tackle, a little bit more important to me. Look, here's the reason I couldn't be upset if they trade up to 34 or something and try to take Imanwari. At the end of the day, what did I say? I had 3 priorities. 3 priorities for the Seahawks draft, okay? 1, make it more of a Mike Macdonald team. 2, fix your freaking offensive line. And 3, become dominant on defense. If they make those 2 selections, I couldn't criticize anything you do after that. You'd still have another second-round pick, right, to go draft somebody. You still have a third-round pick at that point. Like, okay, then you can still help yourself at tight end or wide receiver or corner, all the other places you still need help. I couldn't complain about that for 1 second. It's not necessarily what I'd want them to do, but, again, I got priorities for the draft. Those are the 3 priorities. And trading up to take Imanwari would absolutely fit those priorities. I would have preferred it to be Jihad Campbell, but if they did that, couldn't complain for a moment. Again, I don't know if he's going to be a great player. I'm just thinking about the idea of it, right? And the idea there of getting great, getting elite on defense while solving your offensive line problem, all in. So what if you did that? What if you trade up for Imanwari at 34? You still have a second-round pick at number 50. Let's say you take Jared Wilson. Or you take Tate Ratledge. You take another offensive lineman there, and then with your third-round pick, you go wide receiver. Anybody got a problem with that draft? I don't. Or corner?
No, I was going to say.
It's a hell of a draft.
I think they need another offensive lineman on day 2.
Okay.
So sign me up.
So that's a hell of a draft. What if you were to come away from this draft with a guard, a starting center, a starting, like, man beast, safety, and Imanwari, and then either a corner or a receiver in the third round? Guys, that's a star draft. That's what you need. Oh, my God, that would be a lot of fun. I'm into that. Let's talk more about that today. Let's make Brock get into that. Brock's going to be in next. This poor man, we'll see if he can talk, see if his neck's not injured. He yelled. Do you remember how loud Brock yelled when they got Ziggy Ansah? He was even louder yesterday. I think Dave Wyman almost killed him. I thought Dave was going to put him through a wall. Brock was so loud. Dave was so mad. It's next on Brock and Salk.
And that is the ball game.
Make it 5 straight series wins. Red hot.
Dylan Moore will score. Here comes Randy around third base. He scores. Mitch Garver.
The Mariners bring the mojo back home to T-Mobile, opening a 3-game weekend set against the Marlins. Tonight, first pitch at 6:40. And we're your home for baseball's hottest team, your Seattle Mariners.
They are rolling.
Seattle Sports. Hear every game on 710 and the app.
From groceries to home prices, the cost of living in Washington state keeps going up. Now, Olympia politicians are proposing the largest tax increases in state history. Don't be fooled. If taxes go up, we'll all pay even more. Washington needs lower costs, not higher taxes. Tell the politicians no by visiting www.affordablewashington.org. Paid for by the people for an affordable Washington. Top 5 contributors are Washington Alliance for a Competitive Economy, Microsoft, Madrona, T-Mobile, and Amazon.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Hey, Brock Heward here, along with IRG Physical and Hand Therapy President and CEO, Shannon O'Kelly. Now, Shannon, I need to ask you if what I've been hearing is true. You don't need a referral, really, to see a physical therapist in the state of Washington?
That's exactly right, Brock. The state of Washington is a state that has what's called direct access. That means that if you get up in the morning, for example, and you hurt your back or did something to your muscles or tendons or joints, you can call a physical therapist directly, and we can get you in that same day and start your care and your recovery process.
How can patients get scheduled with IRG?
Oh, it's easy. You just contact us at irgpt.com. We'll direct you to our concierge service, and we'll take care of all that for you. We handle all the authorization, verification. We want our patients to understand their insurance benefits and what the outcomes are going to be with their visit to IRG Physical and Hand Therapy.
Please, please, please don't let injuries keep you from your passion. Schedule online today at irgpt.com and start the journey back to your best self.
This year, tee it up at home with Synthetic Turf Northwest. Dial in your yard and your short game is sure to follow. Synthetic Turf Northwest is your synthetic grass expert. Install a custom backyard putting green or just a mud and mow-free lawn the neighbors will envy. They do it all. Residential, commercial, and turf supply. With locations in Woodinville and soon Fife. Mention Seattle Sports and save up to $1,000 off your project. Visit syntheticturfnorthwest.com.
No more waiting. It's time to go all in on that new car. And Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton are the dealerships to make it happen. Why? Because they're all in for you. All in on the widest selection of new, used, and certified pre-owned vehicles with their combined inventory. All in on their amazing staff and incredible showrooms. And all in on setting you up with a test drive so you can take that car home the same day. Go all in, whether you're in the north or the south. Toyota of Kirkland and Renton got you covered. Visit in person today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your team and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news to stats to placing bets in a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
Give me a freaking auto! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke, you are. And Brooke, you are.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
I had three things I needed the Seahawks to accomplish during this draft. Fix your offensive line, become more dominant on defense, and continue to become a Mike Macdonald team. And I think they very well started that process yesterday with the drafting of Grey Zabel, guard, North Dakota State, Brock at number 18. I can't really talk about I know, you embarrassed yourself yesterday. What is wrong with you?
I don't know if I'd be able to do the show today.
So this is more exciting than when they got Ziggy Ansah?
Yeah, this was a little more exciting.
Just checking.
I
don't know.
Just a little
Your
bit.
reaction was about the same.
Yeah.
You were just not with somebody who
let's
matched
hope,
your energy
let's
like
hope-
Jake did that day.
Let's hope the results of Ziggy Ansah and this guy are a little bit different.
Pretty happy yesterday?
I was, and you've kind of nailed this as I was listening to the great callers from all over this great America. You nail it. The way the draft fell. The minute Dallas did the right thing, New Orleans did the right thing. This has got to be, and I said it, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 times yesterday. I texted DJ to see if their people and personnel could figure this out. It's probably impossible to do. I can't imagine another draft in the history of the draft where the first 20 guys are as big as this crew. There was at one point through, I think, pick 20, there was not a human being smaller than 218 pounds drafted.
Wow.
And that, that was Travis Hunter. Right, he's 190, whatever. That's it. So big boy, even T-Mac, the Tetaroa who went number 8.
Cam Ward's 220, right?
Bro, it was just a draft of massive human beings.
Well, and specifically, as I said, when you were picking at 18, 12 of the previous 17 picked were line of scrimmage players.
Yes.
I'm including tight ends and sort of edge guys in that, but 12 of 17, you couldn't afford to trade back. If you had traded back, you weren't going to get what you wanted.
No.
And okay, so who went after them in terms of offensive linemen? Connerly, Simmons, and Donovan Jackson. Am I right in saying that none of those guys are as quick and athletic as Grey Zabel?
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Not that they're not good players.
Yes, I think
again,
that's
but
fair.
kind of more in the Tyler Booker mold of maulers or just larger.
A little bit. They're still very, very good athletes. So it's you're splitting hairs a little bit.
So why?
athletically.
So then that would really be the only. If you want to be critical, and I'm not. I'm giving them an A for yesterday. But if you want the info, tell me why you go with Zabel at 18, not in general, but over Donovan Jackson, Josh Connerly, or Josh Simmons.
Because I think, as Schneider intimated a little bit after the draft, and from what I heard around the draft, there were not a lot of phone calls. There was a lot of phone calls leading up to it. Hey, as everybody's doing their due diligence and their work, and what do you think about moving from here to there? And there was quite a bit of that in the buildup. But day of, Salk, there was not much. John said that.
Clearly.
Yes.
But then could you have just why draft him over one of those other 3?
Because he's a guard. Because he's
So
played.
is Donovan Jackson.
Athletically, yes. Connerly is the athlete that probably is somewhat similar to Zabel. Yeah, he's a better athlete than Donovan Jackson.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So he's just a better athlete. So that's
yes.
why you draft him over Jackson.
He's yes.
And then Connerly and Simmons. Simmons really is a tackle, right?
He's a tackle, a little bit banged up. Yep, you knew that was exactly what Kansas City was going to do. So good on them. What did it end up? So what did you just say your number was? How many different line of scrimmage guys at one point?
Leading up to you became the 13th of 18.
So 19 of 32 still when the hay was in the barn. 19 of 32, 2/3.
We're line of scrimmage.
We're line of scrimmage guys.
Amazing.
Yes.
I mean, it really is.
Yep.
Here, John Schneider was asked what they're looking for in a guard.
I would say the physicality. I would say toughness, physicality, the finish, the will to finish. It just stands out when you see guys, I'm sure you've noticed this over the years now. When you see guys finishing downfield, I mean, it looks rare, which, guys cleaning up, and he's one of those guys.
Yeah, he's a cleanup on aisle 8. Part of the reason I got up and just started to yell like a madman too. He just checked every box, and at that point, it had to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I after honestly, what was John's word? Jiggy. They got a little jiggy after the Cowboys took Booker. So did I, because I'm looking at this draft, and as it's going to unfold, like, dang. Miami could draft an offensive lineman. Arizona needs an offensive lineman. Like, if they go Donovan Jackson.
Yeah, but if they had done that, then I think someone like Kenneth Grant is then available. Like, there were other ways you could go that I still think would have been really valuable. Miami took Kenneth Grant. You could have done that if they had taken Grey Zabel or something like that.
You could have. You could have.
And I would have been happy.
But if you need to address your biggest need.
Yeah, look, for me, these three things were all the same. Become Mike Macdonald's team, become dominant on defense, and address the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
And, as it happened, all of the offensive linemen, every one of them went in the first round.
Every single one.
Every single one of them.
Yes.
I mean, there's the Tate Ravages.
The only guy left, there's two left.
Jared Wilson.
Big Jonah from Arizona that we talked about. He's like DJ's 48th player. He's at 48. Jared Wilson's at like 60. So, I mean, you're talking about just a big
gap. But again, I think if it might have been worth it for Kenneth Grant. It might have been worth it to trade up as Jalen Walker was slipping. But as we kind of talked about earlier, like I think Indianapolis was taking Tyler Warren.
Mm-hmm.
That's who they wanted.
Yes.
He was mocked in every single mock draft I saw, literally every one to Indy.
Yep.
It seemed pretty clear. So I don't think they were going to take that trade up. And so
Atlanta was going to not take that trade up. Because,
that's right. They wanted Jalen Walker.
Absolutely.
So, all right. So that wasn't really a possibility. The way the draft board broke, this was it.
Yep.
And as it turns out, it was perfect.
Yes.
It was exactly what you needed to do to keep my head from exploding. I mean, to make your team better.
26 of 32 from the SEC and Big Ten.
Now, that is the other spot where maybe if you want to find concern, and I'm not like looking for it, I'm just trying because I love it, but small school, right? I mean, like that would be your one, like, hey, he's coming out of North Dakota State. Can he do it?
Yeah, that's why
Can he make
when you were
that
watching
jump?
like his highlights, like, oh, that's amazing. That's unbelievable.
Right.
But, okay, Cecily's going to go play the kids up in Canada, and it's a little different game when you go play the kids up in Canada.
That's for sure.
So.
Yeah, we discovered that. Yeah.
Yes, it's a little, and that's why the Senior Bowl, I think, was so vital to John, to the staff, so enlightening to everybody. Okay, good. So you did all that. You played who you played, and you beat up on them, and you looked a man amongst boys. Now do it against the other men. And against the other men, he was the best player there that week. And I do think John's point, it's representation. You love to talk about that. Is so critical. The fact that there are, 4 other North Dakota State starting offensive linemen in the NFL doing good things?
It helps.
I think it really helps.
There's no doubt. I thought you would like this. They asked him about his favorite play to run. Like, hey, what are you most excited when you hear it coming in?
A-gap power. It's a mentality play. It's a program, an organization play. And understanding that everyone in the entire stadium knows you're going to try and run in between the guards, and having a kind of the mentality that you got to move the dude from point A to point B is huge. So we have a saying, we do a lot of RPOs up at North Dakota State, and that means run power often. So not the normal RPO that everyone out there, football gurus, talk about. So definitely a gap power for sure.
I thought you would like that.
I really like
RPO.
that.
Yeah, no, that's run power often, not run pass option.
So good. And I understand that depending on the number of Busch Lights drank, we may talk to him today.
We may. We don't know yet. Yeah, he was going to do a little celebrating.
What do you do tonight? What do you do tomorrow before the Seahawks send you out here?
Man, I'm probably going to start diving into these Busch Lights and celebrating.
Well, then his brother tweeted, he said, We ran out pretty fast.
Were they doing the, like, you just won the championship thing, spraying them and dumping them on each other's heads?
No,
Or just straight up chugging them?
I think they were
Just straight up drinking those.
Yeah,
Well, when you weigh 306 pounds, right? I mean, like, you can probably take down a few.
Yep.
So you're happy?
I am. I think that was absolutely the right move. It honestly was. It felt like a must move at that time. You know, yes, Donovan Jackson was still on the board. It was kind of like, okay, as I'm looking at it, it's those two guys.
The only other name that jumped out to me there, and he ended up going 31 to Philly,
was Jihad. There's got to be some. There has to be. I heard. Or
just medical.
There's got to be some.
It's just too much medical.
Yes.
Because he was as he was falling down the board, even I was like, man, if you wanted to trade up to 31, like if you had made that trade, would that have been worth it to come up? But you know, I don't know the Philly would have traded back that far, or Kansas City would have traded back that far. So, all right, coming up, we'll give you guys everything you need to know, including about the first place Mariners, Brock, as they win again yesterday. The comeback kids, not in games, but in series.
Salk. It's 70 degrees in Seattle.
It's bizarre.
The Mariners are in first place. They're hitting. They win a series for the first time in Boston. The Seahawks do what they're supposed to do. And the Huskies flipped a 5-star tackle from Oregon.
It's Bizarro
from
week.
Oregon.
It's
to UW.
Bizarro week. Stay with us on Brock and Salk.
Blue 88 on Brock and Salk.
Will Sam Howell play for the Seahawks in 2025?
If I had to bet today, like crystal ball, no. I think he gets moved.
Every day at 7:45.
Sam is trying to see, can I still be a starter in this league? And I bet you once that Drew Lock deal gets done, it wouldn't surprise me at all if Sam's people reached out to John and the personnel department and said, hey, find a better spot for him.
Blue 88, answering 3 football questions as only Brock Heward can.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Jaden Schwartz for Techline Roofing. The ice may have melted, but spring is the perfect time for a new roof. Call Techline Roofing. Take advantage of our easy financing and our spring special. That's TEKLINE roofing.com.
Discover LeMay, America's car museum in Tacoma. Explore 300 world-class cars, 100 years of history, and the Shinga exhibit with 50 iconic Japanese sports cars. Thrilling race simulators and fun for the whole family. Visit americascarmuseum.org.
This is Secret Clinical dominating extra stinky stress sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave. Oh, what a beautiful day. This is regular deodorant. Ugh, I can't. Secret Clinical with workout sweat. Let's run another marathon. And regular deodorant. How much more? Secret is the GOAT. Because nothing fights sweat better. Stay fresher under pressure.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Mother's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for moms and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more.
The
24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Chargers sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
If you've been injured, you need a lawyer that is tough, confident, and battle-tested. I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law, where we help all types of injury victims like Cynthia, who was T-boned by a truck.
The airbag shattered bones in my hand. I called Warrior Injury Law and was very happy with the outcome. Rob has integrity. He cares about people. He cares about his clients. I knew that I could trust Rob.
If you've been injured, call us at 253-WARRIOR for your free case review.
Swedish Cyberknife is expanding. Dave Wyman with exciting news from our friends at Swedish. They're adding a second Cyberknife. Patients can now receive Cyberknife treatment at Swedish Cherry Hill and First Hill campuses. As many 710 listeners know, Cyberknife is a non-invasive, non-surgical treatment option for prostate cancer with proven results. It uses advanced technology to track your slightest body movements while adjusting in real time to deliver radiation with extreme precision. Healthy surrounding tissue and organs are spared from radiation. The end result? Excellent long-term cancer control and significantly reduced side effects. Compared with other radiation therapies, which last 6 to 9 weeks, the Cyberknife treatment period is typically only 5 days, with each session lasting less than an hour. When diagnosed with prostate cancer, consider treatment with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/Cyberknife prostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife.
Are you finding it hard to stay cool in your home during hot weather? The issue is likely your window's poor quality and lack of heat deflecting technology. Adrian here, owner of Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Our windows are 25% more energy efficient than Energy Star standards and come with high-performance Sun Matrix glass, which can help keep the summer heat out. Combined with our leak armor installation, your comfort will be secured for a lifetime. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, Brock, after all the conversations, head fakes, analysis, discussion, the Seahawks did the sensible thing yesterday. They just drafted Grey Zabel. They kept it simple. They made Roger and Tacoma happy. They drafted a guard, not a tackle, not a defensive lineman, not a cornerback or wide receiver, just got themselves a guard. And it sounds like that was something that's been on their mind for quite some time. They asked Grey Zabel about it, and he said, yeah, I talked to the Seahawks a lot.
Yep. I was I got the privilege to do an interview with Steve Hutchinson down in Mobile, Alabama. And what an honor it was being able to talk to him, and kind of through that process, it was super cool to experience that. So I interviewed with him at the Combine, and I knew this was maybe a possibility, and I was just kind of holding my breath. I'll pick 18.
And we heard Hutch a lot. It was Hutch that was drafted number 17 in 2001, I think, when this little sweatshirt I'm wearing was kind of being rocked around the building. The Seahawks, by the way, that year, you know what they did earlier in that draft? Took a top 10 wide receiver, and Corin had some issues. Corin Robinson, old teammate of mine, great guy. But good thing they drafted Steve Hutchinson. Became a Hall of Famer, was an absolute difference maker, an athlete. First time I remember OTAs. I've told you stories. I've told the audience stories about him blocking John Randall. That was his welcome to the NFL moment in OTAs. But you just watched him move. You watched him run. You watched the level of natural athleticism. And, you know, this kid threw a baseball 90 miles an hour. He jumped 37 inches. There's just movement skills that you had to have, and they got it in the interior of the offense.
Yeah, they asked John specifically afterwards what it was about Grey Zabel that appealed to him.
I like how he finishes the blocks and then finding his targets down the field in space. Obviously, he's a really great athlete, how he moves, and then, you know, it's easy to overlook pass protection. You talk wide zone all the time, but you could argue that's kind of where it starts in the evaluation process. And yeah, pretty hard to find a rep that he had a hard time winning in down in Mobile. So, and he took a lot of them.
6'6", 312. Put a couple pounds on.
Yeah, I mean, maybe after some of those Busch Lights last night.
Well, you got to switch from Busch Light to Bud Heavy if you want to start throwing the pounds on. But, like,
by the way, Lyle,
is there room in the frame?
You play that game, that board game that he had there in the living room? Catan or something? Catan? Do you play that game?
I haven't.
You have not. All right.
I think my brother plays it a lot.
I just saw his Instagram post, and it's tagged, and it's another picture of them playing. I think it was all an ad.
Ah, a little ad.
Really?
That was an endorsement.
Trying to make up some of that NIL money he lost by not leaving North Dakota State. Yep. Big day today, though. The team's got 2 picks in the second, 2 in the third. Some real dudes still available. Some dudes we've talked about. Nick Emanwari, if you want to trade up. Jared Wilson, Tate Ratledge. Lots of options at wide receiver, corner, linebacker. So a lot more to come today.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
It was a pretty chalky draft. I mean, other than a few picks, and that's always going to happen, and Shedeur obviously slipping all the way out of the first round, it was pretty chalky. Very, very big person heavy, 13 of the first 18, O-line, D-line, or tight end. People wanted their meat and potatoes, didn't want to be distracted by shiny objects.
I wonder in this newer age of a lot of younger GMs, and I think we're finding this in baseball as well, in just that generation, those people, they talk, they communicate, they text, they have relationship, they build relationship, right? They want to kind of know what's going on. I remember 10 years ago, the great Grosfather, Wyman, a little bit like, these guys are idiots. All of these mockers, just mock them because they don't know what the heck they're doing.
Pretty close.
Pretty close
Yeah,
now.
I mean, I think they had a pretty good sense of what was going to happen. Certainly, maybe not exact player for player, team
There
for
was
team.
no James Carpenter yesterday. You knew every name.
There's one name I didn't know.
What?
Whoever the heck the Falcons traded up for, who's got character issues. What's his name? I've never heard of that guy.
James Pierce.
Never heard of James Pierce.
Yeah.
He was the only name drafted yesterday I didn't know anything about.
It's my fault.
And it sounds like I didn't want to know anything about him. Here's what Mike Tannenbaum said.
But for the Falcons to go up 20 spots and get up a one next year for a player that unanimously, when you talk to people, there were, like, just to be generous, massive bumps in the road, concern about consistency, love of ball, some really tough things to hear about this guy. You would never, ever, ever, ever trade up for a player like that. The risk reward of that player is somewhere in the 3rd or 4th round, where if you're wrong, you live to fight another day. It's stunning that they gave up so much for a guy that has massive question marks on his character.
Right? That's kind of crazy.
Maybe why we didn't talk
Yeah,
about
maybe it is. But other than that, I mean, everyone kind of did mostly the right thing. Panthers taking Teterow and McMillan at 8. Yeah, that's why they're the Panthers. Shedeur?
Legendary.
Poor kid.
Legendary.
I do feel bad. And for all of it, like, I feel like this is more his dad's fault than his. And I thought that he handled it pretty well yesterday. It must have been really embarrassing.
Oh, gosh.
Right? It
Can
had
you
to be
imagine?
unbelievably embarrassing.
I mean, the cost of everything, the cost of what he was.
Yeah, I know.
The cost to build out the whole thing, the cost of all of it. Dad didn't say anything. He's got to step at the very end of it. And you're right. In that moment, I think it's a little goofy to still say legendary and like we all know this shouldn't have happened. No, it should have happened. And I do think your dad played a big part.
But he's got to say it. Yep. He's got to. And to me, it would actually make me more interested in drafting him on day 2. Not necessarily for the Seahawks, but just as a team in general.
Oh, yeah.
Kid handled himself well. There's going to be trouble ahead. More trouble than he's ever really been through, right? In terms of just difficulty and losses and playing at the next level. He handled it pretty well yesterday, what could have been a really, really tough spot.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
5 straight series wins now for your first-to-place Mariners. And Brock, it was your guy, Mitch Garver, coming up big yesterday in the first.
Here comes the 1-1. Swung on, lasered to the gap, left center field. Campbell is back, he's looking up, and it slams off the monster. Dylan Moore will score. Here comes Randy around third base. He's going to be waved. He scores. Mitch Garver. A 2 RBI double off the monster, and the Mariners have 2 runs on Crochet. A 2-0 lead for the Mariners in the first inning.
I just found myself thinking, remember the game in Boston last year where Garver came up like 5 times and just couldn't do anything? Extra innings,
Runner
right?
Third, less than 2 outs.
I just think, like,
4 times.
if he gets a hit in any of those at-bats, they win last year and, like, whatever. Instead, he gets a hit here in the first inning, and they win. Baseball's a funny game, man.
2 things. Shout out to Gary and Shannon. Rick was under the weather.
Yeah.
I listened. I was driving all over it. Like, they were awesome yesterday. Shannon was awesome stepping into that booth with Gary yesterday. And then, I mean, Brian Wu, I know it's 25 games. I know we're in the first, 1/6 of the marathon of a season. But he's making his claim.
Pretty good.
Hey, man, everybody talked about Bryce and obviously Logan and George Kirby, something. Like, hey, man, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. Fourth quality start.
Most reliable guy on the team right now. Pretty amazing. Finish the road trip 6-3 at 14-11. They are in first place, tied with Texas for the division lead. The host of the Marlins for 3, then the Angels for 3. Texas goes to San Francisco. That's everything you need to know. Quarter past every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. Yeah, they're back at T-Mobile Park. It starts tonight, 5-game homestand. Marlins, Angels, not just on the field, Brock, but the homestand brings exciting giveaways. The City Connect captain's hats, the Moose shoulder plush, and 2 special Mariners value games as well.
The Moose what?
It's a shoulder plush.
I think we have one of those captain hats.
I think we have a moose shoulder plush, too.
It's
like a little
They were back here
stuffed
yesterday,
moose.
and maybe they got scooped up.
I think it's a little stuffed moose.
Okay.
And then your value games as well. So don't miss a moment. Go to mariners.com/tickets and hang out this weekend.
69 degrees.
It can be pretty nice.
Flew in and like, what? 68 tomorrow, sunny?
I heard 3 things yesterday. 2 from Grey Zabel, 1 from John Schneider that I think are very important for the future. That's next on Brock and Salk.
The first round's in the books.
The Seattle Seahawks select Grey Zabel.
I'd ask Brock how he feels, but I think the world is aware. This guy is your starting guard.
Today, live second and third round coverage starting at 4. Draft coverage continues on YouTube and the app at 5:30 when the Red Hot Mariners return home for the first of 3 against the Marlins on 7:10. The app lets you listen to both. Yes! Only on Seattle Sports.
Can you take the power of your home internet almost anywhere? Well, with Xfinity, you can. Do more of what you love in the places you go the most with internet and mobile together. Xfinity built a network that's 99.99% reliable. Plus, Xfinity Mobile, well, they have Wi-Fi power boost, giving you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and out on the go. So get the same reliable network in the places you need it the most. Maybe the coffee shop, the grocery store, or at the game. Whatever you're into, you'll love how fast you can do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. And now through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and 1 unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for a year with no contract. And save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T Plus. Ask how to get a free premium 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G, Internet Plus 1 unlimited welcome line, and AT&T Internet 300 Plus 1 unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
At West Hills Autoplex, we thoroughly inspect and prepare every used car to be like new. Because to you, it is new. We also pay you top dollar for your vehicle. So there's no better place to give your old car a new story. Auto Center Way exit, Highway 3 Bremerton.
Eric Johnson here. I covered a lot of accidents over the past 30 years or so, but I never got to say much about what to do after a crash. Be honest, do you know what evidence to collect, what pictures to take, what documents to request, or what you shouldn't say to your insurance company? The Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the roads throw at them. Know your rights and how to avoid common mistakes after an accident by getting your free copy at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Hey Cougs, Michael Bumpus here, inviting all WSU alumni and friends to the Cougs First Show and Career Expo, Friday, May 9th at the Maidenbauer Center in Bellevue. For education, networking, jobs, and Cougs swag. It's free to attend and all are welcome. Register at CougsFirst.org.
Whether you're shaping up a small yard or tackling serious acreage, Steel, walk-behind, zero-turn, and stand-on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow. Available at participating dealers.
Ooh, ma.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and we're celebrating by giving you the chance to become a millionaire. That's right, a chance at $1 million. Join us on this road to riches every Saturday in April with 2 winners drawn every hour from 4 to 9 p.m. But the fun doesn't stop there. At 10 p.m. on the 26th, we're giving away a 2025 Mercedes-Benz worth $50,000. Don't forget, your Reef Rewards card can save you up to 25 cents per gallon at Lummi Bay Market next to Silver Reef. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5 exit 260.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafy, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. At Pella Windows and Doors, we pride ourselves on delivering top-quality windows and doors that enhance the beauty and energy efficiency of your home. Our products are built to last with innovative designs and exceptional craftsmanship. Whether you're looking to upgrade your windows or install new doors, Pella has you covered.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
Getting a new battery should be easy. At Pacific Power Batteries, you won't go in with a battery problem and come out with a new transmission. Instead, we can test your battery to see if it's actually the problem. Maybe it's the alternator. We don't sell alternators, so we have no motivation to sell you one or even a new transmission. We have load testers and conductance testers, hydrometers and voltmeters whenever needed. I'm Steve Almond, and I invite you to our family-owned Pacific Power Batteries. You can trust us with any battery problem, and we'll top off the blinker fluid for free.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Good day for the Seahawks yesterday and a huge day coming today. What comes next? Well, Brock's got... I'm going to make you do another draft profile of what's next. 8 o'clock. Tell me what's next at 8 o'clock. Yes. Oh. Hey... Those are the rules, man. Like, if you want to be the draft profile guy, coughing to death over here. I just go, something in my throat.
Yeah.
Jeez, God punishing me for saying that you have to do a little work.
This guy, by the way, this guy walks in new. You know, he's a TV star yesterday.
He was a bit of a TV star.
He gets to do like an hour. He's all fluffed up. He looks great.
Thank you.
And he comes in. And I don't even know what hour it is. He's like, so you're going to come in at 6 tomorrow, right?
That's not what happened.
I'm like,
you're such a liar. What? Why would you lie?
That's exactly how I took it.
No, it isn't. I said, hey, do you want to come in at 6 tomorrow? That's literally what I said.
You Jewish mom guilt me.
Maybe, but I didn't say you're coming in.
You want to come in at 6?
I was like, hey, you want to come in at 6 tomorrow?
No.
I thought you'd be excited.
I'm super excited.
Given the way you had screamed about the Zabel pick, I thought you'd be like, hey, I can't wait to get on the air for even longer.
Yes, but I'm going to be on until 9:30 last night.
Yeah.
So
Are you on tonight?
Why don't you go to bed? No, thankfully.
Okay.
No.
You're done.
I'm going to the Mariners game tonight.
Okay.
No. By the way, can we give a shout out?
Stacy and I are on tomorrow morning.
I know.
8 o'clock. I'll be here with Stacy, the B team, coming in hot.
Can I give a shout out to Jerome in California? As I wrote down all the names of all of our callers.
He was
yesterday.
the only one who got Grey Zabel.
He was the only one that said
him and all the mock drafters.
That's right.
And like him and Field Yates and Matt Miller.
Him and Worry. Even Bump sitting there. I'm like, no Bump. No bump.
We got to talk about Eamon Warry, though, in the second round. I think we got to talk about whether you want to trade up. We'll do that in a few minutes. I want to just kind of finish up a little bit of last night and 3 things I heard that I thought were important. The first, for me, was the way Zabel described himself. And he uses a word here that I think is very important to why he was drafted. He was asked, I think the specific question was, why are you a good fit at guard? And here's what he said.
Yeah, I think guard just the type of style that I play is quick. Try and use my athletic ability and my benefits, and basically at the end of the day, it's all mentality playing offensive line. So those three things are kind of something I kind of hang my hat on at the end of the day. Super excited.
It's got to be important that the first word he used to talk about himself is quick.
Yes, and he is. I mean, we talked about that and why he was our final guy that we profiled. Push came to shove. I'm flipping a coin between him and Booker, and they're different guys with different traits. But ultimately, in this system, in this scheme, and to be a differentiator with what else you got. You know, when it ultimately came to that pick, and I looked over to Bob and Dave and Bump, I'm like, come on, guys, this has to be Zabel. If they play a game tomorrow, who are your starting guards before this pick was made? Who's your starting guards? And it's like, well, you know,
it's Bradford and Laumea.
Laumea, Bradford, Haynes, maybe Sundell, center. Like, okay, get the best guard.
You need a guard.
You need the guard.
Well, and I think that was actually the second thing I heard, which is when asked what position he's going to be playing, he may have been intrigued by playing center, but they were pretty clear that they have a different spot for him.
He's going to start at guard and work interior, but the cool thing about Grey is he can play all 5 spots. Hopefully we're not moving around much. He sticks at guard for a long time here, but he does have that versatility.
All right, so why are they saying that? Is it because that's it, or because, like, when I hear that?
No, it's their biggest need. And John has said as much with Pat McAfee.
More than center?
Yes. And because guys are on your nose a lot more, right? There's not many straight odd 3-4, this guy's on the center's nose, snap after snap after snap. You've got a body on you, and you got to handle that body. It reminds me, listening to him and thinking through some of this, Wyman gave like the greatest analogy yesterday. I just loved it. His hair was flopping around as he stood up too. I'm like, that is so good, Dave. And it was about Mason Graham, pick number 5 to Cleveland, the pick I know you love. He's like, when I watched him, it's like, you know those cats that don't want to be held, and you just can't hold them no matter what you do? And I was like,
Wyman's a big cat guy.
Yes. And I'm like,
I believe what he told me was Shannon, his wife, is a big cat cow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So
Yes.
he, by default.
He and Hoover don't know what to do. Right.
That's right. But he's like, that's how Mason Graham plays. Like, you can't ever get your hands on him like that cat.
Yeah.
And you need people that get a body on a body. When you go play at the YMCA, you play ballets, you play at the pro club, and you play that guy whose body is just on you all the time. I'm sure there's a hockey equivalent. Like, that guy just finds a way to skate and to move and has just a body on you all the time, and there's nothing you can do. That's him. He will never in his life, never have a 1.6 pass, offensive PFF grade because he moves. Like, he can just move that.
He's just too
fluidly.
agile.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that effortlessly, and that is a big need at guard, where in this league, you've got tremendous athletes right on your body that you've got to
All right, so that may play into what else they need today. I mean, because again, they don't really have a center either. I mean, maybe it's Sundell, maybe it's Olu, but I don't know that they have a center right now. So I think that Jared Wilson talk is going to continue, or maybe even looking for it tomorrow. Someone like Pete Kendall's kid, Drew, is another kind of real center. So, maybe those are conversations we can have here in a few minutes. But two things. He is going to play guard, and it's his quickness that he talked about straight up. The last one, I don't know if you heard him talking about football, family, and farming. Did you hear any of this?
I did.
It was pretty good. So they're like, hey, we heard football, family, and farming. And he's like, yeah. And he starts off talking about his family. It's great. I love my family and everything they've done. And I got to ask him about it if we end up talking to him today. He's a South Dakota kid.
Pierre.
Right. But then he went to North Dakota State, and there's like a pretty good hatred between North and South Dakota. I know some people from South Dakota.
Hatfield McCoy.
I messed up and thought she was from North Dakota, and her husband was like, whatever you do, don't let her hear that.
Whoa. Like,
don't let her hear you say that. There'll be trouble. So I was like, yeah, no, my bad.
When
like,
was
it
this?
won't happen last night. He's like, oh, Gina's grandfather actually knows his dad. And I was like, oh, really? Like North Dakota pride. And he's like, South Dakota, don't let her hear that. Don't let her hear you say that. So I asked him to delete the texts, and hopefully she's not listening or anything. But okay, so he goes on and on about his family, how great they are. He's like, football's great. We're always playing football, and we played football in the yard with plastic balls in the house. Doesn't matter. We're always playing football. But his voice, when he talks about the farming element, took it to a new level.
And then farming, man, it's been one of those deals where I've just grown up working at the farm and kind of understanding that farming and football have a lot in common. I mean, you plant a seed in the dirt in the spring and tend to it and try and give it as much as you can to grow a great crop in the fall. And football is the same exact way. You work all off season to get your body strong, healthy, and then you go reap the benefits in the fall.
He also talked about having to pick rocks every time he got in trouble, but just the voice, the way he was like, yeah, family's great, love family. Football, super fun. But farming? Farming.
You get on that combine.
Like, maybe that's what they should start, like, forgetting about looking for guys that love football. Apparently, we're just looking for guys that love farming.
Yeah.
We already had Al Woods.
That's true. Al Woods had a pretty darn good career as a farmer and a player. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude loves himself some farming.
Yeah, put that hand in the dirt, put that seed in the dirt.
Yeah.
You work, you cultivate it, you develop it. You know, you don't really get a lot of credit unless the crop is bad. You know, then it gets all the blame. And it's kind of, the life of an offensive lineman. It sure felt like, by the way, amongst all these clips, it did feel like Steve Hutchinson played a pretty significant role in this evaluation. And I'm glad it did. So I circled back to 2001. Do you know who the 50th pick in that draft was? Not by the Seahawks, but circled back to 2001, where the Seahawks took Hutch at 17.
Off the top of my head, no, I don't remember the 50th pick in 2001. Do you guys remember the 50th pick in 2001? Is that knowledge that you commit to memory forever and ever?
If there's a human that's saying this name out loud, that human's got a problem, okay? Because if you know that, you've got your issues. It was Dominic Raiola, who became a stud center for a long time. Point being, as you mentioned, Jared Wilson, and we'll get into this over the next couple hours, so there are a lot of dudes.
There are a lot of dudes.
There are a lot of players.
All right, so before we get into them, and at 8 o'clock, I hope you can profile a few potential, day 2 picks. They've got 4 picks right now, 52, 50, 52, 82, and 92. I think that sounds right. So what do you make, before we dig into, all right, if you keep all 4 picks and make those, fine.
Yeah.
Nick Emenwari is still on the board. He didn't get drafted. Same with, the corner, Will Johnson, right? So there are a couple of other guys.
And Mike Green, who also had some off-the-field stuff. I know. I'm just saying, of guys in, let's say, the top 20.
But let's focus on Emenwari for a minute.
Okay.
Would you, I looked at the draft trade chart last night. 52 and 82 equals 34. Second pick in the second round.
Okay.
So would you give up one of your 2 third-round picks to trade up to number 34? So you would have 34, 52, and 92 today.
No, I would not.
For Nick Emenwari.
I would not.
You would not? Really?
Yeah, there's something going on there, and there's something in this league. You really have to be able to play the ball, and I think there's some real concerns about him in space. There's a Jamal Adams, like, ooh, there's something, because if you do what he did and you run 4.3 and jump 43 and you jump 12 feet and you play in the SEC and you're 6'2", 220, body of a guy, like there's something there.
All right.
Where people are like, no,
there's just something wrong.
Yeah.
Instincts or whatever it is.
Yes.
Okay, fine, good.
You got to play in space.
All right,
your
well,
safety,
I'll buy
you got
that.
to play in space.
I will buy that.
I said to the guys yesterday, if this was 15 years ago and there was everybody replicating Pete Carroll's post defense with Cam Chancellor up around the line of scrimmage, all right, game on. This guy's probably drafted in the first round. In this league right now, where that safety's got to be like Kobe Bryant and got to be like Julian, and you got to have feel and you got to understand space and you got to do all that. Doesn't matter how fast you are.
All right, I'm convinced. Let me ask you a follow-up question to that. Is there anyone still available that you would give up your first third-round pick in order to move up and get with the second pick this afternoon?
Okay. It sounds pretty crazy, and I'm glad you clarified last hour some of your point and your philosophy. But of everybody, and I love Jalen Noel. I love Jalen Noel. But as far as like talent, come in and be like, whoa, this guy could be a serious Pro Bowler. This guy could be like one of the better receivers you've ever drafted. The kid out of Missouri, Luther Burden. The fact that he's still on the board as a back-to-back first-team All-SEC and an All-American. Now, maybe there's some other stuff there, too, like, that we just are not privy to off the field or whatever it is. But that guy said to Bump yesterday, like, hey, man, I know Kyle Williams and Jalen Noel and Higgins, all these guys I'll profile here in 10 minutes and a bunch of receivers. I mean, there's going to be a huge run on tight ends, receivers, running backs here in the second round, corners. But what about this guy I'm looking at his number, like 1,000 yards, SEC at Missouri, elevating him, difference maker, All-American, 5-star out of high. Like, he's like, I know, love that dude. So he would be, he'd be the one. But again, for him to still be there.
Right, you got to know what you're getting yourself into.
Maybe there's a little something stuff there that I don't have the full picture on.
Well, we'll see. I would be shocked if that ends up going down that way. I would be shocked if they were to give up one of those third-round picks in order to come up to the top of the second round.
Mm-hmm.
If Jihad Campbell had been there, I think I would have been pretty interested. If one of these other guards or tackles we had talked, what if you could have come up? What if Donovan Jackson was still there?
Right.
Like, would you have done that? And like, hey, we're going to go into this year with Donovan Jackson and Grey Zabel.
Yeah.
Let's go.
A couple years ago, we had Abe Lucas and Charles Cross.
Right.
And people said, you're never going to get two bookend rookie tackles.
Yeah.
Well, you did.
And now we're going to put two bookend guards
I'll tell
with
you,
them.
there's one other one. There's one guy here of linemen that's kind of sitting still on that board looking at me, and it's Big Jonah Savanaya from Arizona, who was a tackle, who was a guard, who would be insurance for Abe Lucas. If that doesn't happen, he's a mover. He's athletic.
Do you need to trade up to get him, probably?
You probably got to trade
all the way up to 34? Or
I don't think so.
I mean, that was why
no.
Eamon Warrior, I was saying 34. Like, maybe you don't need to get up that high.
No.
Maybe you give up one of your fifth-round picks in order to come up 7 spot. Like, you don't necessarily need to come up.
Give up a high 4th round pick for Jonah and a 6 or something to come up. You know, if he's sitting there at 40 today or 42. That would be the one that's intriguing to me because he's a big
And you think there's
mover.
a legit step up from Jared Wilson, Tate Ratledge to him?
Well, he's, athletically, power, strength, less warts, movements.
The other thing, though, I can't shake is, like, there's some other guys you've mentioned. Like, what about the dude from USC that you said can move pretty quick as
Jonah?
a guard? The other Jonah. I mean, so, like, those guys will be available later.
Absolutely.
Right? So, I don't know. I don't know that I necessarily I wouldn't be upset, certainly, if you go with another guard or center
No,
here
if
in the second round.
If you went up, and John has gone up in the second round.
Yeah.
Not gone up in the first round. We were kind of talking about that at the end of the first. Hey, is there anybody here? You know, I mentioned that to Dave and Bunt, like Jihad, you go up and get Campbell in the first.
I would have liked that.
I know you would have liked that. He has not done that. He has gone up in the second.
For sure.
For Derek Hall, for
Yep.
Jaron Reed. He's made these moves
When he's got a guy that he's waiting on, he is willing to go up and get it. So we'll see whether or not that ends up going down today. In 15 minutes, I'll ask Brock to profile a couple of potential second-day dudes for the Seahawks. But right now, let's do some Blue 88.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
We take you to the field as Brock Ewert breaks down 3 football questions as only he can.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
Oh, that's a good question. Not for Blue 88, but 559 says, is Nick Eamon-Warry more Taylor Mays than Cam Chancellor?
Yes.
That's it. See, that's maybe the comp that like hurts. Like, ooh, Taylor Mays. Ugh.
Don't disparage Taylor Mays. I love that guy.
I know you do.
He's
but
coaching at the UW.
Sure, he's a great guy.
Great guy.
But remember when it was like, oh, should you take Earl Thomas or Taylor Mays? Like,
yeah,
that got pretty well answered. All right, question number 1 for you, Brock. Today's going to be pretty different from yesterday. How so?
There's going to be more movement today. Yeah, you saw that at the end of the first round there. You saw Kansas City and Philly kind of flip picks, and I think you're going to see more movement today. They were cold last night, most of the league. Again, kind of did the right thing, whether that's new young GMs, and there's no more, what was the guy, Buddy Nix up there in Buffalo, right? I mean, there's not many of those left. And
forgot about Buddy Nix.
Yeah, when these young GMs kind of look at, where the game is going and what's being asked of the game today and the cycle that we're in right now, that it's back to the line of scrimmage and beef and meat and potatoes and get these guys. Heck, New Orleans did it with the first-time head coach. Even the Dallas Cowboys did it and got Mr. Booker. So I think there was a lot of teams like, no, we're not really interested in moving down. We're interested in taking a big person that's going to make a big difference at our line of scrimmage on the O-line or D-line. Today, when you're talking the flavors of receivers, Baskin-Robbins of running backs, these different kind of, our group wants this guy. We'll come up, we'll flip a 4th, we'll flip a 3rd. Well, I think you're going to see more movement up and down the piano keys in the 2nd and 3rd round than certainly we saw yesterday that was ice cold. After that the Browns made their move, there was not another trade until everybody thought Shedeur was going to get picked at 25, and instead it was Jackson.
All right, question number 2. Biggest reach, biggest home run.
I was pretty surprised. Dan Morgan, GM there in Carolina. Fella didn't say a lot, just ran his head into people a lot. Very physical guy. I was surprised. Dave Canales, young head coach. I was surprised that they were the one to take Tetairoa McMillan. But you know what? They feel like their young quarterback going into year 3 has got to have a guy that he can throw it up to. I know. That to me, remember Tedoroa McMillan, this wasn't just me, this was McShay, this was a lot of other people. Tedoroa McMillan on our buddy DJ's board was 19.
I don't like that.
Take him at 8.
You think that's a bigger reach than Atlanta trading up for James Pierce Jr.?
Atlanta had yeah. I mean, you bring in the off the field stuff.
That's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, but there's a part of me that's like Atlanta knew exactly what Atlanta needed, and we need rushers. Like, we've got all the offense we need, and we've got to find people to get after the quarterback.
They'd already taken a rusher.
Correct.
Like, you'd already taken one.
Are you going to say that today if you take a guard at 50?
No, but
No,
but to reach in that way after already taking one is what I thought was a little bizarre. Who hit the biggest home run, and why was it the Browns?
It's hard to argue against the Browns. Yep, hard to argue against that. Yeah, I mean, I know on paper it's going to be Philly, right? Jahad Campbell. How does Howie do it? You see all the headlines. How does he come back up there, and how does that guy fall to him? But there had to be a little. That's not a can't-miss guy. If that kind of, again, athlete, 5-star, do all these things, there's got to be some concerns others have. But you could see, even a Bama guy, how cool was that? The reaction, and it started at the very top with Travis. Never seen anybody bounce like him, right? I mean, he just...
The dancing, the pink suit, the whole deal was kind of awesome.
The whole deal.
Yeah.
But then just a number of the guys, and, Tedoroa and Booker and him at the very end of that first round. Like, just... Yeah, dude's got some juice.
Booker brought the energy. That T-Book chain was awesome.
So fun.
He was running around that hallway like a little kid.
But
loved it.
The home run, the Seahawks at 18.
Oh, wow.
Grey Zabel.
The home run.
The one of
Wow,
ones.
that's impressive. All right, question number 3. What, you got the chance to kind of walk around the Virginia Mason Athletic Center yesterday. What'd you learn?
Yeah, there were 2 things that jumped out to me. So walk down the hallway, media entrance, kind of past security, Salk, and there's a new sign up there that at least I hadn't seen the last few years. And signage made a big story last year, right? And pictures down those hallways with Leonard Williams and everything else. Big sign right there as they walk the steps up to the cafeteria. Team, team, team. All about the team. And I was like, ooh, I kind of like that. Yeah, the football's still outside some of those meeting rooms, all about the ball, but this is all about the team. Now go down the other hallway, the one that is there connected to the indoor facility, where, right, this is what made the headlines last year when Leonard's like, yeah, you took down Sherman's picture. Remember, they had the big pictures of the montages, some of the big moments. You know what they have now? It's pretty cool. They have a picture.
Every win?
Every
I saw
win.
that.
And I had not seen that yet.
No, it's cool, huh?
And and it does. And it fits as you walk down that hallway.
It's funny seeing some of the pictures and some of the names on there. Saw David Terrell on there.
Just awesome. Going all the way back to 76 with Zorn and those guys. So just a moment in each of those wins in the history of their organization, every win about the team, right? This is the team. This is the organization. I thought those 2 messages were pretty well done, those 2 hallways.
That is today's Blue 88. Side note question.
Side note.
What'd you make of Pete taking Ashton Genty at number 6?
Oh, can you see? People don't know.
That's a reach, man.
Pete Carroll's like Travis Hunter.
You can't do that.
He's got juice and bounce and energy.
I know,
that's just
but
uncommon.
You can't take a running back at 6.
And when he leaned over earlier in the week, right? Spytek. I think we even played the sound of Spytek, the GM, the young GM there, and Pete leaned over to him during. Be careful, this is the guy that
I don't know, man. That feels weak. I don't know. I don't think you could take a running back with your first pick in your new organization and all.
I love it.
I don't know.
You keep saying you're surprised about it, Salk. That was always gonna be Pete's pick.
Once I played you that Spytek sound, I knew they were doing it.
Was always gonna be his pick.
I was
to
holding
take
out
Genty.
hope. I was holding out hope that he wouldn't make that mistake, but that's a.
He can't help himself.
Remember this. Remember this too.
Can't do that.
Just remember this. The league is a little different. Right, we talk about why is there some of the return of these running backs? When Bishop Sankey just a decade ago was like the first pick at 55.
I know.
The league's changed. The league
I'm not saying that it's not relevant. I know the league has changed and that running backs are relevant.
Changed. The shell defenses have changed. They've provided more room and opportunity.
Number 6?
It's pretty generational.
Number 6? Number 6?
If I told you he was going to be Emmitt Smith with home run speed,
I would say that Emmitt Smith is the most overrated running back who's ever walked the face of this earth.
gosh.
Also,
and it won't even be hard to say.
Little spoiler.
Emmett Smith, with the world's greatest offensive line, opening up 7-foot holes for him on every play and running against the worst Cardinals defense for 700
Saban
yards
saying they're
every
going to
year.
use him like the Lions used Jahmyr Gibbs.
That's fine. Whatever. It's not a number 6 pick. Emmett Smith is the most overrated NFL player of all time.
I've got a little bit of a spoiler.
It's not even close. It's not even a little close.
Anywho, what, Lyle?
No, I've just got a spoiler into next week's trash take.
That's because Lyle doesn't know who Emmett Smith is.
Nice, good one. Yeah, right. Yes, I know Emmett Smith, in case people can't hear the sarcasm. Anyway, the fact ESPN put up on the broadcast that his player comp is Emmett Smith.
Yeah.
What are we doing? He's never played a snap in the NFL, and he comes out of Boise State. Isn't that a little rich when he's drafted?
Wow.
Emmett Smith is a comp like the NFL's all-time
his comp
leading
is that he
rusher?
can run through the biggest holes ever created for a running back. Congratulations.
That feels like a little bit of a crazy comp.
Can we move along?
If Nate Newton and Eric Williams,
Maura.
the rest of those guys are opening up holes for me, I would have run for at least 3/4 of the yards
Can we
Emmett
move
Smith
this?
What do you want me to do?
Can we move this along?
Emmett
Look at
Smith.
Him. Stare at him. Stare at your
most overrated
Give him your mean
NFL
face.
player of all
You
time.
think Salk listens to me?
He looks
Most-
at you. Give him your mean face.
By the way, I'm absolutely right about this. It's
great.
not even a little
Thank you.
close.
All right.
And the text toy is going to totally agree with me.
Okay, good.
Salk is 100% right about him. It's not that he's a bad player. I'm not saying that. Most overrated player
I got like
of
8
all time.
I got like 8 dudes to talk about.
All right,
here.
we're going to do
Let's
it.
go.
Brock is giving draft profiles for today. Rounds 2 and 3. Seahawks have 4 picks. Who they going to take? Stick around. You'll find out next.
And that is the ball game.
Make it 5 straight series wins. Red hot.
Dylan Moore will score. Here comes Randy around third base. He scores. Mitch Garver.
The Mariners bring the mojo back home to T-Mobile, opening a 3-game weekend set against the Marlins. Tonight, first pitch at 6:40, and we're your home for baseball's hottest team, your Seattle Mariners.
They are rolling.
Seattle Sports. Hear every game on 710 and the app.
Hey, Brock Heward here, along with IRG Physical and Hand Therapy President and CEO Shannon O'Kelly. Well, the seasons, they're a-changing. The guys are playing the sports outdoors. I know many are starting to maybe pull the lawnmower out and get back to the landscape and the outdoor work. I'm going to guess, Shannon, at IRG, maybe a little busier season?
Oh, absolutely, Brock. You know, we know when the seasons change, particularly when it gets warmer, people are in their houses pretty much all winter long with our cold weather, rain, et cetera, particularly here in the Puget Sound. And everybody's excited. They want to rush out and get going with their activity. I'm telling you, as a physical therapist for 35 years here, you need to prepare your body. So take time to warm up, increase some flexibility, do some stretches, because if you prepare your body and prevent injuries, those activities outside, particularly that exciting thing, mowing your lawn, is going to be healthier and it's going to be a lot more fun.
And you feel better. For more info or to book your appointment today, simply go to irgpt.com. It's all waiting for you right there at irgpt.com.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Goodbye, winter mud. Hello, Dream Yard. Spring is here. Synthetic Turf Northwest has you covered. No more soggy lawns or weekend yard work. Just green, clean, and ready for backyard barbecues, wiffle ball, or kicking back. Synthetic Turf Northwest, the area leader in synthetic grass, residential and commercial installs, plus turf supplies out of our Woodinville warehouse, and soon in Fife, right off I-5. Mention Seattle Sports and save up to $1,000 off your project. Visit syntheticturfnorthwest.com today.
No more waiting. It's time to go all in on that new car. And Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton are the dealerships to make it happen. Why? Because they're all in for you. All in on the widest selection of new, used, and certified pre-owned vehicles with their combined inventory. All in on their amazing staff and incredible showrooms. And all in on setting you up with a test drive so you can take that car home the same day. Go all in, whether you're in the north or the south. Toyota of Kirkland and Renton got you covered. Visit in person today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Right now, have beautiful, ultra-efficient, clean technology windows installed and pay 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 18 months. Only from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. And they'll even pay your sales tax. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com. Looking for Mother's Day weekend plans? Well, take Mom out to T-Mobile Park for an unforgettable day of Mariners baseball. The team is squaring off in a 3-game series Friday, May 9th through Sunday, May 11th. And on Mother's Day, the first 10,000 moms will head home with a brand new clear structured purse, thanks to Muckleshoot Casino Resort. A Mariners game is the perfect place to celebrate with Mom and the whole family. Lock in your seats today at mariners.com/tickets.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, let's keep this going, man. It is Friday of the draft.
With the 18th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Grey Zabel, guard, North Dakota State.
Yeah, the 125,000 people in the crowd in Green Bay didn't know what to think. They never heard of Grey Zabel or the Seahawks, so there was a lot of confusion there. We've heard of him now. He was a great interview yesterday, chatting with the members of the media. This was not James Carpenter Redux. This guy could talk, and he's going to join us an hour from now. We will talk to Grey Zabel at 9 o'clock this morning, Brock. Don't get distracted.
Oh, it's okay.
9 o'clock this morning, Grey Zabel is going to join us.
1 hour from now.
1 hour from now. I know you've got a lot you want to get to. So this is another extra Brock draft profile because you got 4 picks today. And what are they going to do?
I'll give you 4 or 5.
I want to hear some names. Lyle.
The Seattle Seahawks.
Gee, stop distracting
This
Lyle.
is Brock Heward's draft profile.
You want traits? Check. You want a vocal leader? Check.
At the end of the day, you have to say, okay, what's best for the organization? Can you make people around you better, and can you bring people together?
Every day leading up to the draft.
Gee, you're going to be on at 8:30. Stop distracting Lyle.
He's telling me music he wants when he comes on.
What did Macdonald and Schneider start their presser with yesterday when they talked about this kid? Smart, tough, reliable? Were those words around enough? Smart, tough, reliable. So if that, you know what I always love to say, Saul, if someone's repeating themselves and we're hearing this repeated messaging, those are the kind of guys we're looking for. So today, who are smart, tough, reliable? Smart, tough, reliable.
Okay.
I'm sorry. If we kind of, chatted a lot about Grey Zabel and he ended up being like today, wherever I'm at when that happens at the Mariners game, if they draft Jalen Noel, I'm doing the same thing.
You'll be happy. I
mean, he's smart, tough, reliable. He absolutely loves football. He can't get enough of football. He can play every position. He's strong. He's fast. He's athletic. Yeah, he's a slot receiver, Brock. No, he's not. Nope. He can play X. He can play in the slot. He can move around. He's smart, tough, reliable. So I know that I talked about him and profiled him earlier. I can't, as I'm looking here at my list of players, I can't move on from that. He's smart, tough, reliable. There's a lot of corners. They need corners. So when I said to the guys last night, like, who's your starting guard? And they're like, well, who's your third corner? Yeah.
I mean, it's Josh Jobe right now, right?
He's your second corner.
Oh,
well, yeah, I guess so. I'm counting like outside corner because I put Spoon inside a nickel doing all the stuff that he does in there. So like outside corners, it's Nehemiah Pritchett. Like, nope, we got to beef that up. The kid out of Notre Dame, Benjamin Morrison, he's drafted in the first round if he doesn't get injured last year too. So there's some injury stuff here that's, got some guys are probably going to go maybe in these early 30s where you're more comfortable than you were in the first round doing that. That dude is smart, tough, reliable. Smart, tough, reliable. That would be, now he may not be there. He's 44 on DJ's list, but there's something about Notre Dame. Julian Love, there's something about those guys that are smart, tough, reliable. So he's a corner. Now there's other corners. There's a whole bunch of athletic guys, and we've talked about the kid out of East Carolina that's bounced around and he's got some injury history, but I would be disappointed. I really would if one of these 4 picks is not a corner. And frankly, if there's a run on corners, I'd be disappointed, I think, if it's not either 50 or 52. It's a need. It's a real need for this team with the teams you play in the NFL. Benjamin Morrison is a corners, probably near the top of my list. I had a name yesterday. I knew he wasn't going to go to the Seahawks, and I knew he wasn't probably going to be a first rounder who's going to flirt with it. Keep an eye on Mason Taylor, Jason Taylor's son. His best football's ahead of him. I profiled a couple other tight ends, right? Terrence Ferguson is going to be on that board. Somewhere in the third round is a possibility. There's going to be a big run on running backs, a big run on tight ends, a big run on receivers, and a big run on corners. Those 4 positions got a big run in them. And Mason Taylor is the one, like, if you want upside, what did you say earlier as I was listening to you driving in? You want, like, the safest pick in some spots, and then you want upside. You need upside. Your personality's upside.
Sure, in general.
In general. Mason Taylor would be the upside. We didn't even profile him. We didn't really talk about him. There's other guys that have done a few more things.
Second rounder or third rounder?
He is DJ's 28th talent.
Feels a little rich. Take a tight end here.
52?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Feels a little rich, but okay.
And then the 2 Georgia kids. So if you're going to kind of go through
and we talked
this,
about them yesterday.
Yeah, the Rattler is just, oh my gosh. If
you had to choose one of those 2 kids, Tate Ratledge or Jared Wilson, who would you prefer?
I think Ratledge. I think he's a better athlete. And I think G. Scott would be like, oh my gosh. I mean, Tate Ratledge and Grey Zabel. He's going to come in here. He's going to have a hot take at 8:30.
Yeah.
Because he's texted us about it in the past of what he wants out of those linemen. I don't know if we could handle that.
Do you think you need to get one more offensive lineman in the second round?
No, not the second round necessarily.
Second or third round?
Yeah, we talked about Jonah Monheim. We talked about Drew Kendall. We talked about these other guys, 4th, 5th round. Like, this one extends maybe into the 4th or 5th. I wouldn't love if you wait till like the 6th or 7th and it's just a total project.
Right.
Like, they take Jared Wilson, they take Tate Ratledge, they take Big Jonah, they take, these guys. If they were to do that at 50 or 52, I'm fist bumping tonight at the Mariners game. Like, good.
Yeah.
Great.
Just take care of it.
Just
take care of it.
Just get big athletes. Just big difference-making athletes. These aren't just big guys.
If I had to choose 2 positions for them to take in the second round, it would be interior offensive line and corner.
Yes.
And then if you've done that in the third round,
receiver.
I would like to go tight end receiver.
Yep.
Or linebacker. Like that to me is how you finish off this draft, or the first 3 rounds.
So
of this
here's
draft.
just another little intriguing name, and I talked about him the other day, and that's a linebacker from UCLA, because Jihad goes all the way and he falls all the way to 31. This kid Carson Schlesinger, a very difficult last name, Schlesinger. Carson Schlesinger. It's a very difficult name. It's going to be problematic for Rabel and Wyman in the booth. Keep an eye on him, because there's not another inside linebacker. Like, Jihad fell all the way to 31. If he was there at 50 or 52, Salk, I'm not hating that at all. Run, hit, instinct, all about the ball. Add to that room. Make your front 7 better.
I could be good with that.
Yeah. Just keep an eye on him, because there's a big old cliff. It's like Jihad was, 15. This kid's 40, and then it's 4th, 5th. Just kind of project middle linebackers.
What about, I'll mention the kid's name. What about either of the other Ohio State edge rushers?
JT?
Either JT or
Jack Sawyer. Yeah. Yep. JT is.
Are either of them, again, we've sort of talked about this. Like, you got a lot of guys who play the edge.
Yeah.
Unless they're going to be a significant upgrade, is it worth?
Yeah, I don't think in these four, I just don't think there's a unique enough trait that they differentiate from the four you have.
Okay.
Maybe even five, like other guys you have. Yeah. I think they're going to be more needed by some other places because there's enough unique traits. Now, tight end's an intriguing one, man. Tight end, there is a lot of, again, Baskin-Robbins flavors, running backs, tight ends, and receivers in these next 2 rounds.
I would really like them to come out of the second round with another offensive lineman and
a corner.
Probably a corner.
Okay, so if that's your second round.
And Brock, and here's why. That's the draft profile for today. Here's why. It's just coming back to what I'll continue to repeat. What are the 3 goals I have for this team in the draft? Become more of a Mike Macdonald team, fix your offensive line, and get dominant on defense.
Mm-hmm.
So, you probably need one more. As you were talking to Bob and Dave and Bump yesterday, I heard you guys having that conversation as I was driving home. Like, all right, who's your other starting guard?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's Haynes, maybe it's Sundell, maybe it's Laume, Bradford, that's a lot of maybe.
And also, now keep an eye, and John has slipped us in a couple different times. There's still some stuff going on in the market with
veterans and guys who get cut
salary
and all
cap
that.
Cuts, and keep an eye there.
But it certainly wouldn't hurt.
Okay, so your home run today, second and third round. Your 2 picks in the second round, home run positions would be interior offensive line and corner.
I think so.
Okay, your 2 home run picks in the third round would be
wide receiver and either linebacker or tight end.
Okay, not D tackle. Not nose tackle.
No, and I it's funny because that would have been a home run pick for me in the first round, but I'm not looking for filler at that spot.
Okay.
Like if you're going to get a D tackle, I want a guy who's going to wreck the game.
Well, Detroit, and Detroit has earned the right, in Salk's words, they have earned the right more than anybody to kind of do whatever they want to do in the draft, 8 Mile style. And they took a run stuffer.
Yeah.
The kid late, Tyleek Williams, that dude's not a wreck the game. He wrecks the run.
Okay, but I would have been fine with something like that. Like it just, by the third round, I don't need a third round nose tackle or something like that. You just cut Cameron Young. I don't need another Cameron Young.
Even my guy DoorDash. If DoorDash is in there,
the 460-pound guy.
No, he's not even DoorDash. He can't even move. He can't get to the door. No, DoorDash at Oregon, where they had to kind of look at his DoorDash and make sure, what are you ordering?
I don't know, man. I don't know if I need that.
Caldwell, no?
Yeah, and I'll repeat it again. I said it early this morning, but let me say it again. If they were to go wide receiver in the second round, I'm fine with that. For all of my anti-wide receiver in the first round stuff, I am not against wide receivers in general. Just not until you've taken care of your business.
Yep.
Right? You gotta eat your vegetables and your meal, then you can start talking about dessert. But if you want to have dessert in the second round, I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Dessert's important.
Yep.
Monday's my birthday. I'm gonna get one of those chocolate eruption cakes from Whole Foods. Those things are unfreaking believable. I'm down with dessert. But you gotta eat your vegetables, you gotta eat your meat, and you gotta eat your potatoes first.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2.
Aaron Goldsmith joining us now.
For the success that they are having, you can't necessarily pin it all on one guy or one group.
But it feels like we're seeing the Mariners win in multiple ways, which is different.
One of the things that's encouraging to me, they've won consistently in that stretch of time without their outlier strength.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
When you have really good leaders, it makes it easy.
Gia arrived at Lee Johnson after 10 years at another dealership.
You know your job, but then you have people who you can rely on to help you with the big stuff that you need that support from. And I've gotten that every day with my service manager, with our assistant service manager, with even our GM and our GSM. The way that, we're now on the showroom together, we are so close-knit just as a department. My service manager here, he's always open to teach you whatever you want to know. He just wants everybody to do good around him, and if somebody wants to learn something, I'm here to do it. And I've never had a service manager like that before. They're really good at promoting from within. That's one thing that I've learned from working here. I see people start out as a lot porter, and people work their way all the way up to being a general manager.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
This summer, make sure your roof is ready for the season ahead with a company you can trust, like 3 Tree Roofing. We're not just your roofers, we're your neighbors, and we're here to help you protect your home this season. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free on-site estimate and get your roof replaced before the summer rush and potential material price increases. Our certified technicians make your roof replacement easy and worry-free, so you can focus on the important things this summer. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Mother's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for moms and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
No more waiting. It's time to go all in on that new car. And Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton are the dealerships to make it happen. Why? Because they're all in for you. All in on the widest selection of new, used, and certified pre-owned vehicles with their combined inventory. All in on their amazing staff and incredible showrooms. And all in on setting you up with a test drive so you can take that car home the same day. Go all in, whether you're in the north or the south. Toyota of Kirkland and Renton got you covered. Visit in person today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
Hope springs eternal during the start of the season, but unfortunately, so do spring allergies. Hey, it's Dr. Ryan Stern of the Stern Sinus Center. Let us fix your ear, nose, and throat problems. Let's make your congestion, sinusitis, snoring, and allergies a non-issue. We can diagnose and treat everything from allergy testing and treatments to modern nasal breathing procedures to advanced balloon sinuplasty. Come and see us in Federal Way in Auburn or at sternsinus.com. That's sternsinus.com.
The noon hour of the Bump and Stacy Show is powered every day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com.
Just Cause Legal knows the value of standing up for what's right. If you've been involved in a car crash, Just Cause Legal is here to fight for you with an aggressive team dedicated to securing the compensation you deserve. Just Cause Legal makes the process as painless as possible. Don't wait. Time is critical. Get the help needed today. Visit justcauselegal.com or call 253-859-8899 and meet your legal lifesavers. Just Cause Legal, fighting for you.
Hundreds of vehicles on the ground, 8 dealerships, 14 brands, all in one location. Visit West Hills Autoplex. We have more brands in one location than anywhere else in Washington State, import or domestic, new or pre-owned. We make finding your perfect vehicle easy, and that means a remarkable car buying experience for you. Skip the hassle with West Hills' streamlined buying experience and feel confident buying from your neighborhood family-owned dealerships. West Hills Autoplex, Auto Center Way exit, Highway 3, Bremerton.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of their National Red Tag Sales Event, now extended through April 27th. Stop by any of their participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales Event, extended through April 27th. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Swedish Cyberknife is expanding. Dave Wyman with exciting news about Swedish adding a second Cyberknife in Seattle. Cyberknife is a non-invasive, extremely precise prostate cancer radiotherapy treatment. Compared with other radiation therapies, which last 6 to 9 weeks, the Cyberknife treatment period is much shorter, typically 5 days with daily sessions under an hour. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first,
All right, the first round is in the books, and the Seahawks did exactly what they needed to do. It's an A draft. They get an A for the first round. I don't know if it's an A+, but based on the way the draft was breaking, this is what they had to do. Draft Grey Zabel, versatile offensive lineman out of North Dakota State. He was tremendous at the Senior Bowl, which is really where he made his name and dominated players from much bigger schools. He's 6'6", 312. I would think there's still some room to put some weight on if he needs to, but he can play anywhere up front. He's quick. He talked a lot about running the exact scheme that they're going to run now, a lot of outside zone, which he started to do late in his career at North Dakota State.
I love outside zone, get to be a big athlete and go run out in space and really show your athleticism along the line of scrimmage. So we started running a little bit more outside zone at North Dakota State this year with our head coach coming in, and he's an Iowa guy. And we just talked about the importance of understanding the defense and stop beating your head against the wall trying to run A-gap power and their sacks in the box. Let's go get to the edge. Let's use our athleticism, and let's go play ball and let our running backs make us right.
Well, athleticism is sort of his calling card.
This kid can talk, huh?
Yeah, he can really talk. That's why you said, 9 minutes going to be enough. Like, I don't know. Well, you may need some time.
Well, that was also before 92 push
I know.
lights,
We'll see what happens. It's a little early in the morning in South Dakota.
But this guy can talk ball, right? I mean, just to listen to that, and I love that cut you played earlier of the RPO, run power often. Yeah, North Dakota State develops those guys. That'll be a big part of my questioning for him. How do you go about this development process, right? You were a 2-star from Pierre, South Dakota, and now you're a top 20 pick in the NFL draft. How? And, based on last night in his interview with the press, he should have some fun stuff for us in 40
Yeah, nothing
40
not to like here. We'll talk to him coming up at 9 o'clock this morning. And then, obviously, the draft continues today. Seahawks with picks 50, 52, 82, 92. They're in a really, really good spot, and whatever direction they want to go, they can certainly do it with some excellent players that fit their needs, still very much available.
Here's the second thing you
I don't know if you
need
saw
to know.
DJ's tweet, by the way. He sees an early run on wide receivers and defensive ends. Not a surprise.
Yep.
Right? I mean, that sort of makes sense. I don't think you need to be trading up for anything like that, but the draft was pretty simple yesterday. It went as chalky as I can remember, other than, and credit to our guy Hawk Blogger, Brian Emhauser, who told us right after the Senior Bowl that he thought Shador was going to drop all the way out of the first round. He did. Not drafted in the first round. In terms of the guys that I just enjoyed watching yesterday get drafted, Travis Hunter was great with the pink suit and just dancing and just energy. Yeah. Tyler Booker running around like a little kid through the hallways. Awesome. I liked Abdul Carter and the whole handshake deal he had going on with the commissioner. You know who was unimpressive looking? Will Campbell. Patriots tackle?
Sure.
He just looked dumpy.
It was just a bad suit. Green
Is that
and
what it
white
was?
pinstripes are not a big man.
I saw him. I was like, ugh. That was the least impressive guy I saw there.
Big man in little suit.
Kind of dumpy looking.
Maybe it's not. Are you not supposed to wear vertical stripe? Yeah, it was green and white pinstripes. It just wasn't good.
I'm just saying, I didn't like the look.
Yeah, you know what I loved? I loved the receiver Golden, who got drafted to Green Bay. And Mark Murphy did an awesome job. Their team president up there, and you play into the crowd and the narrative about never drafting a receiver. And that dude looked miserable. Like, I heard Cam Ward. I saw a little TikTok on Cam Ward being like, too cold here, man. Get me the heck out of Green Bay. and that kid Golden like,
oh no.
Oh, I've been here 2 days. I want to get, oh no. Oh, yeah, quite a bit of personality and a
couple local kids drafted in the first round.
Really cool, man. And Bump was great. He's known Amika Ibuka, as has G, since 5th grade. And to see him get drafted, Connerly, the Rainier Beach Boys. So, yeah, a couple local boys, and I would expect a few more today, including JT will be drafted as well.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Let's finish up with the Mariners here, who are now in first place after winning another series on the road. That's 5 series wins in a row. The last 3 all coming after they dropped the first game. And I do think that's important because there's an element of resilience that is very much in play there.
Outstanding road trip. I think outstanding series here in Boston, everywhere that we played. You know, losing the first game, showing a lot of fight, coming back in each series. This was a really nice way to cap it today. you don't see a lot of lower scoring games here in Fenway, but our guys pitched so well. I thought Wu was fantastic, through 6, and then handed it over to the bullpen, who's been very, very good here. And, those guys were able to slam the door.
A couple of questionable decisions. Going to Trent Thornton in the 8th, and very nearly didn't work out for them. But it all came up aces for Dan Wilson and the Mariners.
I think Dan Wilson, and listening to
Do you think the Mariners could have used Alex Bregman?
Yes.
Do you think anyone could have used Alex Bregman?
Do you think Alex Bregman wants to hit in Fenway?
I think he wants to hit in Fenway.
I think he kind of wants to hit
But man, Alex Bregman's still...
Unlike the draft where you get drafted
He's
to...
still really good.
I don't know, Green Bay or something. Like, no, you're a free agent. You earned that right. I want to go hit
Did that
there.
feel like a series of 26 versus 1? The Mariners have a whole roster, and the Red Sox have Alex Bregman.
And Tristan Casas.
Yeah, right. But Bregman was so good.
No, he was.
Man.
And obviously he loves hitting at that park.
Yeah.
It's pretty clear.
As he should.
I think in every single post-game scrum, Dan Wilson has said the word fight. In 25 of them. I think he has used that word, and I think it now might be purposeful. I'm going to listen for his pressers every single game. He's talked about it, and his team has done it, Salk. They slow start, and they dug out of it. They're sitting there right atop the AL West right now. I know it is very, very early, but
I'll tell you who exemplifies that more than anyone in this roster is Randy. You say what you want, and I know that you've got your issues watching Randy. You get that guy in and bat late in the game, and he digs in, man. It's a different kind of at bat.
He does.
He really does.
And how different does this team look and feel with Rivas and Williams?
So different.
With just
night and day.
Solidifying, like
the roster they're throwing out there now.
Sometimes
is so much better than
those
the one
injuries,
from 3 weeks ago.
Right? Sometimes you just don't know.
Yep.
What doors get opened, and sometimes those injuries can be a blessing in disguise, and you hate it for Bliss and Polanco. You'd love to be able to hit and play every day, but those injuries open the door for these two guys that have just stabilized.
Totally agree on that.
That infield a whole bunch.
Yeah, that's everything you need to know. 15:15 every hour here on the Brock
Remind
and
me,
Salk Show.
and I'm not being facetious here. Remind me, who did Sight say he was most excited to work with this year?
Dylan Moore.
It was 3 guys. It was Dylan Moore, it was JP, and was it Julio? I know it was Dylan for sure, and it was JP for sure.
I don't remember the third one.
Yeah, and it is sure nice to see those two guys just, compared to their springs, especially Dylan.
Yes, it's
come
taking a little bit of
long
time.
ways. Yep.
That's for sure. Okay. G. Scott's going to come in here in a moment. Yes, you mentioned a connection to Emeka Ibuka and to some of the guys who could be drafted today. Still curious about what his weekend. I still think he should have gone and hung out with his kid this weekend. He's like, I don't want to be there with him for it. Like, really? Like, he's like, it's all about what happens afterwards. Like, well, why don't you do both? Like, you could do both of those things. I think it would be nice to be with him today.
Yes, that he's going to be on this little line of like, no, it's not daddy's time. We saw that with somebody building a room, being legendary.
Well, being there to like support your kid doesn't make it about you. I don't know. I'm surprised, but whatever. G's going to be in a moment, and we'll get his thoughts on Grey Zabel, what happens next, Shador Sanders, a whole lot to come, and then Grey himself will join us at 9 o'clock, a little over a half hour from now. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com.
The first round's in the books.
The Seattle Seahawks select Grey Zabel.
I'd ask Brock how he feels, but I think the world is aware. This guy is your starting guard.
Today, live second and third round coverage starting at 4. Draft coverage continues on YouTube and the app at 5:30 when the red-hot Mariners return home for the first of 3 against the Marlins on 710. The app lets you listen to both. Only on Seattle Sports.
Can you take the power of your home internet almost anywhere? Well, with Xfinity, you can. Do more of what you love in the places you go the most with internet and mobile together. Xfinity built a network that's 99.99% reliable. Plus, Xfinity Mobile, well, they have Wi-Fi power boost, giving you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and out on the go. So get the same reliable network in the places you need it the most. Maybe the coffee shop, the grocery store, or at the game. Whatever you're into, you'll love how fast you can do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. And now through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and 1 unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for a year with no contract. And save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T Plus. Ask how to get a free premium 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G, Internet Plus 1 unlimited welcome line, and AT&T Internet 300 Plus 1 unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. More fiber?
What?
Down here, buddy. It's me, your spoon. Constipation with belly pain still coming back?
Yeah.
Talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, but Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Announcing the Million Hour Volunteer Rally. G here, join me, Safeway and Albertsons, and donate your time and skills to support local food banks and host food drives or fundraisers. You can win free groceries for a year and a $5,000 donation to your favorite hunger relief agency. Visit albertsons.com/volunteer to learn more. Find volunteer opportunities and log your hours. A million hours will help create food secure communities. Visit albertsons.com/volunteer.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Need a new roof, a deck, siding, windows? Get up to $3,000 off any new installation. Hi, it's Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Home projects can add up fast, but we're here to help you save big. Book now and lock in up to $3,000 off in savings. That's $3,000 off any new installation. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free estimate today. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. You'll hear that sound a lot at Queen Charlotte Lodge. Experience a luxury resort, breathtaking wildlife, spectacular wilderness, and amazing fishing at Queen Charlotte Lodge in British Columbia. Reserve now for peak king salmon runs and plentiful halibut this May and June. At Queen Charlotte Lodge, it's fishing first class. Go to fishqcl.com. That's fishqcl.com. And remember, our dollar is worth $1.40 north of the border.
Hey, Brock Ewart here, along with IRG Physical and Hand Therapy President and CEO Shannon O'Kelly. The weather is warming. The sports are moving outdoors, Shannon. Maybe time to take care of that lawn and pull the old lawnmower out. Is it a time where you get a little busier as the weather warms?
Oh, absolutely, Brock. You know, what we know, particularly in the Puget Sound, we have these cold, wet winters. The weather changes, the sun comes out, and everybody wants to rush outside and do things. And I'm telling you, that's great, but you got to take time, listen to your body. You got to prepare your body for those activities. You don't want to go too fast, too soon. So warm up, stretch, make sure you have flexibility, a little bit of conditioning, because if you're conditioned and ready and prepared, those activities outside are going to be so much funner, if that makes sense. You're an athlete yourself, Brock. You know how important warming up is.
No, I like funner. I think they would tell you more fun, but I kind of like funner, and that's exactly what IRG is. For more info or to book your appointment today, simply go to irgpt.com. Remember, that's irgpt.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Is this what the people want this morning? A little time with G. Scott and a lot to talk about with G this morning. Lot to talk about with G.
Whoa. Why is it two of you and none of me?
Damn right. Camera knows.
Man.
Camera knows.
That's a damn DEI camera. You know what I mean?
The camera doesn't lie, G.
This camera got rid of DEI. It's two of you and
Look
one
at
of
me.
Brock.
I'm at two different angles. You got me from looking at two different directions at once.
What the heck?
If you're watching on YouTube, man, you have the best view ever right now. Salk times 2. This is Brock, Salk, and Salk.
Let's put this DEI thing to the test. You come sit in this seat.
No, let's see if it changes.
Let's see.
Oh, my gosh.
Let's see.
What we got?
Boo.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, it believes in equality. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Get G off the screen. Go back and sit over here. Guy, what's the matter with you two running around like crazy people? G, the Seahawks yesterday took Grey Zabel with the 18th pick. What'd you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how I want my offensive lineman. That's how I envision. When I think about an offensive line,
Football family and
I
farming.
think about a football family. Hey, can I get a little bit? Can I get a little bit of some Chris Stapleton, please? Let me get some Chris Stapleton. I want me an offensive lineman. That's right. I want me an offensive lineman when I check their wrists.
Yeah.
They got a wristband. They were at Stagecoach. You know what I mean? I want me an offensive lineman that wants some brisket for the weekend. I want an offensive lineman that's going to cook a pig like you are going to this weekend.
It sounds like
I want an offensive lineman that comes to me and say, G, listen here. America, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
It sounds like you want an offensive lineman for whom there would be 2 shots of them on the screen right now rather than none.
Hey, no. Being serious.
And then farming, man, it's just it's been one of those deals where I just growing up, working at the farm, and kind of understanding that farming and football have a lot in common. I mean, you plant a seed in the dirt in the spring and tend to it and try and give it as much as you can to grow a great crop in the fall. And football is the same exact way. You work all off season to get your body strong, healthy, and then you go reap the benefits in the fall.
Now, I'll say this. I was talking about.
Is he too smart to be your kind of offensive lineman?
What do you mean by that, Saul?
I was talking.
asking.
I was talking to KJ Wright the night before. You know, our Seahawks legend KJ, and KJ said, "G, hey man, that Grey Zabel, I saw him at the Senior Bowl." And he was whooping tail.
Mm-hmm.
He said, man, I really liked it. He said, no, G, I'm not playing. He stood out over everybody. And he said, well, I doubt he'll be there at 18. When he got to 15, 16 yesterday, and this is the reason why I really thought that the Seahawks would be trading down, because I did not think that Grey Zabel would be there. The fact that he was there is absolutely incredible. It's literally like seeing her at the spot that night, and then you see her 6 months later, and she's still single.
How was the draft party last night? Were the people excited about that pick?
50th anniversary. The place went nuts, right? Because the Brock and Salk show has been leading the charge for awesome offensive linemen. And let me tell you what it did. It set a new narrative.
Kind of a lazy narrative from what I'm told.
No, it set a new narrative.
Ah.
You know what I mean? That this offensive line is going to get it together. No, the place erupted. Shout out to the Seahawks. Mopop was cracking. You had from Kingdome to Lumen Field. You had Jim Zorn. You had Steve Largent there. And then you had Cooper Kupp and Sam Darnold.
Were you accessible to the people last night?
Yeah.
Or were you like on stage and separated? You were accessible.
Yeah, I talked to some of the people.
Okay, so did a guy named Brian from Bonnie Lake who had a spicy bet with his wife?
Yeah.
He did?
He probably couldn't make it out last night. Just tied up in the basement or something because they didn't draft his person.
No, that was after that.
Oh.
Yeah.
I said, can't call in today.
He told us he was going to the draft party, and I said,
His tape
make
shut.
sure you go bro hug. Gee, he didn't hear from a Brian and Bonnie Lake.
No, but
and
I
a
did.
spicy.
He said he made a spicy bet with his wife over who the Seahawks were going to draft.
Did he tell you?
He said he couldn't tell us on the air what the spice was. He said it's a family show, and I can't tell you.
Yeah. One more moved it
Too
along
spicy.
too. Yeah.
I will say this.
Hot sauce.
You know who didn't seem like they were in a bad mood after that pick? Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I bet.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't seem like he was in a bad mood at all.
Oh, so those guys were there?
Oh, yeah. Sam Darnold, Cooper Kupp was there. So, well, let me ask you guys. I mean, I'm just now here. What's you guys' take?
I mean, look, the way the draft fell, they didn't have a choice. This was the only thing they could do. And it was absolutely the right thing to do. I mean, like, before they picked, there were 17 selections. 12 of them played on the line of scrimmage. Like, that's just where the draft went. If everybody ahead of them had gone corner or, wide receiver, quarterback and stuff, maybe you could have gotten cute. Maybe you could have traded down. Yeah. Maybe then you could have drafted a star defensive end or something like that. Yeah. But the way the draft was falling with no Kenneth Grant, with no Jalen Walker, with no, you had to do this. Yeah. And if you had traded down and missed out on one of the all the offensive linemen went in the first round. Yep. You had to do it. And I couldn't be happier. It's exactly what they needed to do. Turns out the narrative was not lazy at all.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, it was a lot of things going on, but I just want to say, what the hell was Jalen Milroe doing? He just went to the draft just to pop a fit, right? And what I mean by pop a fit, just wear some clothes.
He looked pretty good.
My man, I could have told him, bro, you ain't got to be there. You ain't got to worry. Nobody's picking you up in the first round. You and Shador.
Okay,
so what do we think it should be? What did you think it should be?
At 21, and then when the Giants came in, what was it, 25?
Right.
At 21 or 25, did you think, okay,
no,
all right, legendary, it's going to happen?
No.
Even at 21?
No.
I thought Pittsburgh was going to take him.
I've been telling you guys that Shador is not a first rounder, and I want to get to something because I can't address it enough on social media, and everybody's like, oh, this is the reason, and some of this is racist. Shut up. Not racist. What it is Shador has been, you ever in junior high or can you think of that dad, that ultimate dad hat, the one that always tries to make sure and control the playing time for their child? Mm-hmm. Usually it's a quarterback dad. I ain't going to get on the quarterback dads, but anyway.
That's true.
Deion Sanders is the most quarterback dad ever. This isn't an opinion. Here's fact. Look it up when you get a chance. Look up the school that Deion Sanders put together in order for his son to play football. And then look what happened to the school because of the shady financial stuff that was happening. Mm-hmm. That's one.
That was high school, right?
That was high school. Then when it was time for the Power 5 schools to come at him, and they weren't coming, he goes and takes a job at Jackson State. This is the same Shador that when he was on the national 7-on-7 scene, came out one time and then got off that scene, right? Because they didn't want to see everybody. So this isn't shots at him. I'm sure Shador is probably a nice kid. I'm sure Deion Sanders, when the cameras are not going, I'm sure he's a nice person. This is about straight up daddy ball.
So, two questions for you.
That's well said.
Really well said, yeah. And great information to back it up. I ask you this not as sort of an obnoxious challenge, but more as a real question. How does that differ from LeVar Ball, who I know you were a huge fan of and really argued for? How is this different?
LeVar Ball put all of his energy into his sons and all of the, hey, this, look at me, all that kind of stuff. Deion literally... The comment yesterday, I'll give you a specific example. Yesterday, during the draft party, someone said to Shador, they were talking about the Cleveland Browns, and somebody said in back, hey, but they got Joe Flacco, right? To which Deion Sanders says, Joe Flacco? That dude my age. Franchises don't want that. And so the difference is Deion just retired his son's jersey.
But you don't think LeVar Ball would have done that if he had the opportunity? He made a shoe first on everything else.
And I just want to say this. If LeVar Ball had the opportunity to do that, I would have blasted him too. LeVar Ball never had an opportunity like that. This dude, and by the way, this Deion stuff is nothing but money.
It's only because Michael Jordan wouldn't play him one-on-one. If only Jordan had played him one-on-one, then he'd beat him, and then he would have been able to. Yeah.
It has never been about football. They don't win football.
Last question here, and then Brock, I know you want to jump in.
What? Yeah, go ahead.
What did you make of the way Shador handled himself last night?
Loved it.
I did too. I thought that was pretty, that's got to be an awful situation to be in.
Shador probably, I think he's a good kid. And Brock, go ahead.
I think so. I texted a coach last night, and I just said, man, Prime did Shador no favors. And his response, much like yours, right? Same vein. He said, absolutely destroyed him. Controlled his environment every step of the way. And you know what you can't do?
Didn't let him fail.
You know what you can't do in the NFL? You can't control the environment. And they tried to. And, tried to speak this into existence. I had four production meetings with Deion this year. I really enjoyed a lot of those. We cut through a lot of the crap, and you get to talking football. But every time he's like, well, Shador's 1-1. He's going to be 1-1. I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, like it's just going to happen. Like, we're going to make it happen. We're going to force it to happen. We're going to throw enough money at it, enough image, enough. We're going to build our own draft room unlike ever before. We're going to have a whole hat of walls with legend. Like, it was so gross to me. Gross to me. And the hardest part, and I said this a few times during the breaks last night, I'm like, I don't want to feel this way. I don't like that I'm happy that Deion's eating humble pie because I feel bad for Shedeur Sanders. It's just a disservice to him. So you and I debated that a little bit, and you're like, no, I don't think the NFL cares. I don't think they care about pride. Like, no, they.
I guess they do.
Yeah,
I was wrong. I guess they do.
And I don't mean to say that like you're wrong. It's just like I don't.
Wrong all the time. Wrong on this one.
This game is so hard.
Yeah.
This league is so difficult. The margin of error is so slim, and I just don't need to deal with that. I don't want all of that. I don't want all. We've seen it here in Seattle a little bit with Russ and with Geno. Like, I just don't want that. But just be normal.
Could other kids rally around? I mean, that's the one question. Is it does seem like some of the other kids his age have rallied around that a little bit, right? I mean, obviously Travis Hunter went where he went, and that was a big part of him becoming
our baby. Flowers don't go to bees. Bees go to flowers. You know what I'm saying? And in all fairness, to lump those two together.
It's a retired
Shedeur is the B. Yeah, you know, again, he's a nice. I'm sure he's a nice kid.
I just
sure
put myself in that spot. Can you imagine? Your dad did all of that, and then you're embarrassed in front of the entire country. I mean, nationally embarrassed in front of hundreds of millions of people, all because of what your dad went through and did, quote unquote, for you. And then at the end of it, you got to speak. You're 21, 22 years old. Was he 22? You got to go speak in front of all the people that were there, knowing that it's going to be put out to the entire country and world after you've been embarrassed nationally, internationally. That has got to be an awful
far does he fall today?
Awful spot to be in, and I thought he handled it as well as could be.
He might go to the third round, guys.
Man, that would be crazy.
He might, and I always love to come on you all's show and talk.
Sorry. Do you think there's some value, though? Like, if you were a team, and maybe the Seahawks aren't the right team for it, but if you're a team, you're just looking at it like, look, the kid's talented. He's got something that we like. He does X, Y, and Z well. Maybe it wasn't first-round pick well, but well. The biggest knock against him is Deion and the sideshow and all of that. Was yesterday humbling enough to that whole process that you say, hey, whatever, man, we're going to draft him now in the second round. We're going to get a kid that is going to forever be thankful to us instead of being bigger than us. And and we're going to show him that his dad is the one that screwed him, and we're going to be the ones to help him.
No, this is the NFL, bro. This is different, and the reason why it's different because let's go back to what was said today. Go back to what was said in Brock's phone, and let's go back to what my entire point has been when it comes to. I've been following. Shedeur is the same class as my son. So I've been following this the entire time. And in this case, when you coddle your kids and you leave the training wheels on that bike until they're 15 years old, and then when they're 15, 16, and they can't ride the bike on their own
I get it.
because they've had training wheels on the entire time.
Yeah, the whole grit and determination and
now, I would say,
Salk,
honestly, I kind of get your point about Shedeur. Like, I think that you would get the best, most fueled, maybe a little humble. You think Deion's going to do any of that?
No.
Or is he going to say, we're the victim of this? This is
Look,
what you started your thing with. Everybody's against us. Everybody hates us. Everybody.
You know how much I looked on social media? And by the way, you're not doing Shedeur favors by getting on social media saying it's racism.
Yep.
I agree. Dude, I'm with everything you guys have said.
Cam Ward was the #1 pick.
You're not doing Shedeur favors.
I'm with you guys. But I'm just looking at the Raiders at number 5, a 5th pick in the second round. I'm thinking about Pete Carroll, and I can't help but think Pete has enough personality himself to deal with Deion, has enough belief in his own ability to coach somebody up and get the. I can't help it, man. I'm looking at pick 37
Pete last night, texting him this morning. Come on,
I'm looking at pick 37.
Bring Shedeur home.
And I'm sorry, I don't. I think
I know.
I think Pete does
know
that.
on the outside looking in what Pete seems to be. But if there's one thing that needs to be really talked about when it comes to Pete really doesn't care about all the other stuff. He'll even let this slide. And can you play? That's right. Pete. If Pete gets another pick and does not pick Shedeur, It's not personal.
No,
against Dion.
if that's the case, he just doesn't think he's good.
Just like, I just don't think he's
this
good.
receiver is better. This DB is better. Okay, so fast forward to the Seahawks today. We good on this?
Yeah.
Because we have about 5 minutes here before Gray is going to join us in 12.
Are y'all kicking me out?
What do you?
Well, we're going to talk to Grey Zabel. Sorry.
What do you want the Hawks to do today? Home run for you, not player necessarily, but team needs, everything else, 50, 52, like 4 picks today, 80, 92. What do you want the 4 positions to be today?
Let me get a safety.
Okay.
Let me get a running back.
Wow.
Yeah, and by the way, and specifically the running back, I can't believe Travion Henderson did not go in the first round. And the fact that he's there, I think he's gone in the first 5 minutes today. I want to see that. And I want you to continue to, hey, go at the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
If there's something not in there, let's get that competition going in there. And I'd like to see you shore up. Take the best player possible.
Yeah.
I think right now the Seahawks are really in a good position. To say, hey, we're going to take the best player available.
I would agree with that. They were not yesterday.
Nope.
Yesterday, they needed to take an offensive lineman the way they did, unless something had worked out perfectly for them on the defensive line. They were not in that position because they just didn't do it in free agency. They have to take an offensive lineman. Today, a lot of ways you can go. You could take another offensive lineman. I'd be down with that. I mentioned wide receiver, even though I did not want them to do that at 18. They could probably use another wide receiver.
You see this
Luther
Luther
if there's
Burden
a game
kid?
changer.
You see this Luther Burden kid on the 7-on-7 circuit, or he's a little too young?
From Missouri?
Yes.
I got to see him play against Ohio State. He's pretty good.
I mean, 2-time first-team All-SEC, 2-time All-American, 1,000
All right,
yards.
so if you want that, then I'll ask you the same question I asked Brock.
What?
If you want to trade up to pick 34 today, second pick in the second round.
I just told you. I don't even. You have to finish the question.
No.
Travion Henderson.
No.
Oh, you would do it for a running back.
Yes.
All right. Well, so just so you know, what you'd have to give up, you would have to give up 52 and 80. Get you there.
Yes.
So
I would
doing
do.
that.
I would do that for Travion. You want to know why I do it for Travion?
Yes.
Because I know Travion is built to last. You see what I'm saying? Availability. Yeah. What? What'd I say?
Nothing. I just for a running back.
No, look, you're on camera now.
Just a lot for a running back.
Look, G, you got on camera.
I mean, I don't know if you guys are noticing this. There is a reason why teams are going into trenches early on in the draft.
I know.
As opposed to, you notice the 6 or 7 wide receivers as it happened in the first round? Because right now, the NFL is a copycat league.
I know.
People are saying right now, like, oh, okay, we need to run the ball so we can get them out of that too high safety.
I get it. I'm with you on all that. Just
That's
drafting.
why-
You trade 52 and 82 to
Yes.
get to 34 and draft a running back.
Sometimes when you know, you know. You know what I mean?
All right.
Like, have you ever spent all the money you got just so you can date that gal? You see what I'm saying? Sometimes you know. You going all in on her.
No, I've never done that.
You never done that?
No.
See, you've been rich your whole life. There's some of us that's going out on a date. You got $20 in your pocket. You got 20 in your pocket.
That is
you
true.
got to be able to take her to the movies
Yeah.
and do all these things. You got to figure it out.
Yeah.
So that's why I am when it comes to Travion. I'm going all in.
Okay.
Hold on, this dude. Wait, the program director brings Brock coffee?
What a world we live
What the
in.
hell?
Seriously.
What? Dennis is the most entitled. I ain't never seen a program director bring a host coffee.
What?
What?
I can't believe I just watched that.
I know, bro.
Is it your crazy thing too with the triple shot blonde extra grande?
Do you want facts?
Stevia
Do you want
milk.
facts, or are you going to
I
spill
think
a
I drink
narrative?
Starbucks too. Lyle doesn't.
I'll give you a fact.
The fact
Jeez.
is, I was already drinking this. We
Okay.
started the segment. It was sitting there at the coffee machine. I didn't get it before the segment started.
So he brought it
took
in
it from
for-
there
Segment's almost
to here.
over, bruh.
He
Yeah.
did come in with a Starbucks.
Thank
cup.
you.
I thought he
Okay,
brought
so he
you
didn't
another.
stop at Starbucks
No,
for you.
it was sitting right outside.
He brought it in from outside.
Question:
All right,
Have you
that's
ever
more-
seen?
Saul.
Have
Thank
you
you.
ever seen that happen before?
No, but more information
Thank
makes
you.
it less
I appreciate that.
less ridiculous.
What's the first question we got to ask Grey Zabel? What do you want to know that you didn't learn last night?
What's the best country show you've ever been to?
No. This is for real. What I want to know.
All right, what do you want to know?
You can pick 3 items for the main course. It can be a brisket,
Okay.
prime rib, or beef ribs. Dino beef ribs.
You don't want to give him
Dino-
his own choice? You want to make it multiple choice?
I want to make it. He's got to pick those 3.
Okay.
It's either a brisket, a prime rib, or dino beef ribs. Which one?
That's a good question.
Does he prefer?
I'm going to ask that, G.
I
You give us
Yes,
a
sir.
half
What's your
hour
answer?
of-
A dino beef ribs. Hey, shout out to if you know, you know. if
You've
you
said
know,
that a couple times today.
Them dino beef ribs.
Yeah.
Okay, G, 4 Buckeyes went last night. How many Buckeyes go in the second and third round today?
8.
So
Let's
4
see.
go last night.
Travion goes. Jack Sawyer goes.
JT goes.
JT Mike go. Yeah, JT Mike.
Quinshawn.
Go. Oh, Quinshawn goes. Yeah.
Quinshawn goes.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure 3, probably 4.
Yeah, for sure 3 today.
Okay.
All right.
And you're not flying out, huh? You don't want to fly out? See your boy? You don't want to?
No.
What if he gets drafted tomorrow in the 5th round?
Listen, bro.
Don't listen, bro.
If
you know,
Arlene,
you know.
If you know, you know. Arlene told me to tell you guys something because I told Arlene. Shout out to Arlene. I saw her at the event last night, and what happened was I talked to my son, and he says, "Man, I'm excited." And I promise you, guess what he said? He said, "The hay's in the barn." I said, "Now, if that ain't a little kid." Listening to this show for years.
And we thought he was sleeping in the back room.
All this time we thought he was sleeping whenever he come in. He was listening.
He said the hay's in the barn.
Avery asked me yesterday whether or not he was going to get drafted, and I was talking to her about it just as we were driving by Blanchette, where we came to watch him play in high school.
Either way, 100% chance he's going to be in the new city next
I'm
weekend.
really excited, man. It's a cool weekend for him as well. G, thank you. We'll do it next week. And yes, coming up next, Grey Zabel is going to be with us. If you want to stay with G, obviously, he's on our sister station, 97.3 Cairo News Radio, along with Ursula. We'll be right back with the Seahawks' 18th pick in the first round. Grey Zabel next on Brock and Salk.
And that is the ball game.
Make it 5 straight series wins. Red hot.
Dylan Moore will score. Here comes Randy around third base. He scores. Mitch Garver.
The Mariners bring the mojo back home to T-Mobile, opening a 3-game weekend set against the Marlins. Tonight, first pitch at 6:40, and we're your home for baseball's hottest team, your Seattle Mariners.
They are rolling.
Seattle Sports. Hear every game on 710 and the app.
LeeJohnson.com is a dynamic research tool.
We want to give the customer enough information to where they don't have to go anywhere else to research any of the questions they have. And if they want more information, we'd love to be there to help. We don't want them to feel like they're dependent on emailing us or texting us or calling us just to get the information they need. So we put it all out there. We call them digital retailing tools, big fancy calculators where you can get in there and change the terms and change the payments and change the cash down. And it'll give you a disclosure of, hey, when you do this, this means here. And a consumer can get on there and do a lot of this themselves. And then if they choose to get us involved, we can actually get involved on the backside of it and help them along the way. We want to give the consumer the same tools that we have and let them understand what we understand.
Yup, that's pretty much what you'd expect. The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Can you take the power of your home internet almost anywhere? Well, with Xfinity, you can. Do more of what you love in the places you go the most with internet and mobile together. Xfinity built a network that's 99.99% reliable. Plus, Xfinity Mobile, well, they have Wi-Fi power boost, giving you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and out on the go. So get the same reliable network in the places you need it the most. Maybe the coffee shop, the grocery store, or at the game. Whatever you're into, you'll love how fast you can do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. And now through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for a year with no contract. And save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T Plus. Ask how to get a free premium 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G, Internet Plus One Unlimited Welcome Line, and AT&T Internet 300 Plus One Unlimited Starter SL Line. Xfinity Internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
No more waiting. It's time to go all in on that new car. And Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton are the dealerships to make it happen. Why? Because they're all in for you. All in on the widest selection of new, used, and certified pre-owned vehicles with their combined inventory. All in on their amazing staff and incredible showrooms. And all in on setting you up with a test drive so you can take that car home the same day. Go all in, whether you're in the north or the south. Toyota of Kirkland and Renton got you covered. Visit in person today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
We at Three Tree Roofing understand that your home is your castle. That's why our certified technicians use state-of-the-art installation methods to deliver the highest warranties available. Check out our hundreds of online reviews and schedule a free estimate to see for yourself. Three Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we provide top-quality windows that are 25% more energy efficient, reduce noise by 50%, and stay clear with low-maintenance glass. With leak armor installation and lifetime warranties, you're protected for life. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Right now, have ultra-efficient, clean technology windows installed and pay zero down with zero interest and zero payments for 18 months. Only from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. And they'll even pay your sales tax. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Getting engaged? At Shane Company, dream engagement rings are our specialty. We have the most beautiful natural and lab-grown diamonds, hand-picked in every price range, ready to compare side by side. Shop online at shaneco.com or in store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get his freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero. Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to do you a minute.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
Hello!
I'm going to guess, as we are getting ready to speak to new Seahawk Grey Zabel, he's not going to get tired of hearing this.
With the 18th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Grey Zabel, guard, North Dakota State.
It's got to be a moment you remember for the rest of your life, and he's kind enough to join us now the morning after. Grey, good morning. How are we feeling today?
Man, I'm feeling blessed. What a surreal experience this past night was, and super excited to get out to Seattle.
I got to be honest, you don't sound like a guy who drank too many Busch Lights last night. What was the count for the evening? Because you sound pretty good.
Yeah, man, we had a lot of fun. I know we ran out about halfway through and had to make a quick trip, but we enjoyed ourselves last night. For sure.
A quick trip from the farm to the liquor store. How far is a trip like that when you're in South Dakota?
No, we're in town here at our house, so it was a short trip. Luckily, we weren't run out for too long.
So, did you know, Grey, before the call came or the name was announced? When did you know?
I knew when I got the call after they announced the Cincinnati Bengals, and all the way leading up to it, I had no idea. I was just praying. I was holding my breath because I knew Seattle was a place that could possibly be a landing spot for me, but I was holding my breath. And when I got that phone call from Washington, man, my heart started beating for sure.
What were you thinking as a lot of other offensive linemen were going? I mean, a lot of the picks, 12 of the 17 picks ahead of you were big people, either on the offensive or defensive line. Were you thinking that's good for you, not good for you? Like, what was your reaction as it was going down?
Man, I was excited for the guys that went before me. I mean, I got to meet a lot of them through this process, through the draft process, and I was super excited for Will, Armand, Calvin, Tyler, those guys. And I knew it was a good thing that teams were kind of prioritizing offensive linemen in the first round. So But I was super fired up for those guys. And when I ended up getting that call on the 18th pick, man, it was all my dreams come true.
Did you know when you boarded the plane from Mobile, Alabama, how big the Senior Bowl week was going to be for you?
Not really. All I wanted to do is go down there and just compete and prove and be a tough football player. Other than that, I had no idea how it was all going to play out, but I'm grateful that Jim Nagy sent me an invite to go down there and be able to showcase what I have and the skill set that I have.
What did you feel like you showed that week?
And I thought I went down there. I think I showed my versatility, my hunger to be a good physical offensive lineman, and then my ability to kind of improve throughout the week. I mean, it was a little bit of a step kind of going up against guys like that, but at the end of the day, you come to realize, like, playing this game of football, everyone puts the shoulder pads on the same way and everyone wears a helmet. And if you're a good physical football player, you're going to have success. And that's what I just wanted to go down there and show.
I mean, you say that, but at the same time, I mean, the talent that you're seeing there is, with all apologies, a little bit, higher
bigger, faster,
end, a little bigger,
stronger.
faster, stronger than your average game at North Dakota State. So what did you notice as you were going up against some of those guys? Because that'll be the one question, right? How do you handle the jump to the next level here?
Yep. I noticed everything's just got to be a little more locked in. You just got to be more precise with everything you do. If that's your footwork, if that's your hand placement, all that. And then at the end of the day, I mean, football is a physical game, and you're going to have to be a physical football player. And I think that's what's going to might be the biggest jump, or might be the biggest issue that people struggle with, is the physicality. But when that's kind of one of your pillars of your foundation, it's going to be hopefully a good transition to the next level.
Gray, I think before you were born, I was a Seattle Seahawk, and I was in the Seattle Seahawks locker room. I remember this when the Seahawks drafted Steve Hutchinson in 2001. We heard a lot last night after the draft, a little bit from you and from John Schneider, the role that Hutch played in it, the Hall of Famer. Can you take us into some of those conversations and some of those meetings a little bit deeper?
Yeah, absolutely. Any time that you get a chance to talk with, one, an unbelievable person like Steve Hutchinson is, and two, an unbelievable player he is, you just want to try and soak up as much knowledge as you possibly can. I mean, being able to sit down and talk with him, talk about some football, and just kind of pick his brain a little bit about this game, it was a super unique experience. And I was fortunate enough, I got to meet him down in Mobile. I remember calling my parents afterwards saying, like, hey, I just talked to Steve Hutchinson. That's pretty sweet. But anytime you get to be around somebody like that, it's a cool experience, and hopefully I'm around him a little bit more and get to learn a lot from him here in the next few years.
Heard you talk a little bit last night about running outside zone and how it kind of came up more in your life last year after a lot of A-gap power to start your football career in college. Oh, Brock, you know me. You know me. Yeah, that's me, a big scheme guy. Yes. You'll find out over the years, maybe, Gray, or actually probably won't because you won't pay any attention, but I'm not a scheme guy, but I do the best I can. I know that seems to be what Clint Kubiak wants to run a lot of. So how does your skill set marry with running a lot of outside zone?
Love it. I love it. I was fortunate enough. Coach Polsek came from Iowa, and he was a firm believer in outside zone this past year at North Dakota State. So being able to kind of translate that, and the biggest part is use your athletic ability to go and play ball and get out and run a little bit in outside zone. So I'm super excited to be a part of the Seahawks and the scheme that they do, and hopefully get to kind of continue to showcase what I have.
Are you still growing at all? Like, any chance, like, what was it, 6'6", 312, 3'4"? Like, could we see a bigger Grey Zabel at some point? Is there room to add weight?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in my college career, I'd always be on a little bit of the lighter side to be more quicker and agile and faster and stuff. But through this process, I mean, I was able to gain some weight because I knew I was going to have to play interior, so you got to be a little bit heavier. So, I mean, big thing about gaining weight is just steaks and squats. That's all you got to do to put on some pounds.
Steaks and squats.
Well, and you could go from Bush Light to Bud Heavy if you need to. I mean, that would, I think, help, right?
Yeah, exactly. A few extra carbs.
Okay, we just had a guest in with us.
Yeah.
He wanted to know from you, speaking of steaks, you open the door to meat right there. You get the choice of 3 things to order here in Seattle. When you come and visit, we get to meet you. Three things are on the menu. You go on brisket, prime rib, or dino beef ribs.
Ooh, I'm going to go with prime rib. I love a good steak.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go prime rib for sure.
Okay.
How'd you end up going to North Dakota State? I mean, you grew up in Pierre, right? I just read this in the bio yesterday, but you grew up in Pierre. From everything I know, from the limited number of people I know from either Dakota, there's a lot of rivalry.
Don't like them bison.
How did that play? Like, what led to all that?
Yeah. So I grew up in Pierre, South Dakota. Our farm is in north central South Dakota, about an hour and a half north. And once you start getting closer to North Dakota, there's starting to become more North Dakota State fans. So I was kind of around it growing up and got to see the dynasty start to take place starting in 2011. And I had an unbelievable position coach and recruiting coach that kind of showed me North Dakota State. I mean, when I went on my visit up there for junior day, Cordell Volson, who now plays for Cincinnati Bengals, showed me around the entire day. And he showed me kind of that big brother tough love. And I fell in love with it right away. And unbelievably grateful that North Dakota State gave me an opportunity. They saw something in me that most schools and bigger schools didn't see, and they developed me into who I am today. So I'm forever in debt to them. But yeah, there's a lot of pissed off peer people when I decided to go up north and not stay in state.
Yeah, get ready. It only happens more and more the further you move along.
Yeah.
Okay, I got like 4 quick rapid fire questions for you, Gray. All right, 4 quick ones.
Yep.
Do you hunt and fish?
Yeah.
Which do you enjoy more?
I'm going to go hunting more for sure.
Quail? What are we doing? Quail?
Pheasants, ducks, geese, deer.
Yep.
Do you like to use a bow?
I don't, because I don't have enough patience.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You climb into the combine. What music you putting in? What's playing inside that sucker as you're working your acreage?
Absolutely. Well, it all depends on what time of day it is. I mean, you want to start off with like country and stuff because you're excited. You start farming, then you go through a few swells throughout the day. Maybe you throw on some like 2000s alternative. Then you get to 70s, 80s rock or pop hits.
Wow.
And then you kind of get back to the new pop, kind of pop country. But so it all depends on the time of day. But I'm telling you, my phone has too many playlists from sitting in the tractor.
Makes sense.
You hear that, Lyle?
Favorite crop to farm?
Corn, for sure. For sure. I love just watching it grow. And then harvesting corn. I mean, it doesn't happen often at my farm. It happens a lot more at my dad's fields. But when you're able to combine 200 bushel of corn, that's a surreal feeling watching it go into the grain tank.
Okay, and then last thing, football-wise. I know at Iowa, it's Whack-'em Wednesday, Tackle Tuesday. It's violent. It's physical. It's been that way for 3 decades. I know what North Dakota State's produced from an O-line standpoint and everything. Talk to me about the development piece, because it's hard at the NFL level to develop offensive linemen. Take me into how you developed from a 2-star whatever recruit from Pierre to the 18th pick in the draft. How'd that happen?
Yeah, I don't even think I was like rated. I don't even think I had a star. So basically what it all starts with is, 1, unwavering support from our administration, our coaches, our strength staff, the community up there. And 2, it's the backbone of NDSU, the strength staff. Coach Kramer and Coach Knapp are the best at what they do in developing what we call big athletes into offensive linemen. And 3, I mean, we started, I can't even remember when it started, but Bloody Tuesday, when it's full pads and we're going good on good most of the entire season. So when Tuesdays roll around, it gets bloody out there. Like I said, it's a unique experience up there at North Dakota State, and I'm forever grateful for it.
And just so I just want to make sure I hear right. It's Pierre, not Pierre. Like for my whole life, you have to learn capitals, right? I always thought it was Pierre. It's Pierre?
Yeah, it's Pierre, yep.
So kind of one syllable.
Exactly.
Is that a South Dakota thing, or is that like a known thing?
I believe it's a South Dakota thing for sure. Okay. And then I want to say, I feel like I got to correct more people than not. but it's Pierre.
Now I know. I never heard that, so now I know. But it was at the farm where we heard you talking yesterday that you pick rocks as a punishment, which sounds awful. And hearing you describe how you wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy sounds even worse. Could you just, for those of us that didn't grow up on a farm, who were maybe, accused by Pete Carroll of growing up in a silver spoon environment, what is it? What is the purpose and what does it mean to pick rocks?
Yeah. So basically how it is, or what we had to do growing up, was anytime we got in trouble, anytime maybe we got in a fight with one of the brothers in the house or something, we'd somehow find our way up there and they'd drop us off at a field, and you'd go and you'd pick rocks. Because anytime if you disc it, plant it, combine it, if you hit a rock, it damages your equipment really badly. So you basically start at one corner and you just start walking down and back and finding rocks.
With like a sack?
No. Sometimes, it's probably not the safest thing to do, but you just kind of put the Ranger and let it idle right next to you, and it just goes straight. You just walk by it, pick up rocks, and throw it in there and stuff. And
dude, how do you think you threw 90 miles an hour?
How big are the rocks? How big are the rocks?
They could be the size of your palm all the way up to, I think we just got one removed, and it wouldn't even fit in a loader bucket of a skid steer. So where we're at, we're farming some tough dirt, but man, it's a fun time.
I appreciate the idea that I would know how big the lower bucket of a skid steer is, but that's nice.
I know he's got to run. We got to run too. Last two quick things for me. So when you walked in the door from Pierre, South Dakota, right up there to North Dakota State, when you walked in the door, you were height, weight, what?
I was 6'4.5", 244 pounds, I believe.
Wow.
So you've gained 60 pounds.
Yep.
Yeah, I could do that.
Steaks and squats.
Steaks and squats, man.
And then last thing, what do you know about this beautiful place that you're going to fly into? When I say Seattle, Washington, Seattle Seahawks, what does Grey Zabel know about this place?
Man, I'm excited to get to know more, but the one thing I do know is I think I can hear the fans in the stadium, the 12s, cheering every single Sunday from Pierre, South Dakota. They're so loud. So I'm super excited to be a part of the organization and play for one of the best fan bases in the entire world.
Well, I'll just say this. I know sometimes they don't let offensive linemen talk to the media, right? There's little fines and stuff.
Little code.
I hope somebody decides to break that, because this is a blast. Thanks for letting us get to know you a little bit. Clearly, you're comfortable in this environment. We can't wait to see you out in the football field as well, and see over the next 2 days who the Seahawks choose to put there with you. So thanks so much. Congratulations. Years of hard work. It pays off, and it's got to be a really incredible feeling.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, there you go. Straight from Pierre, South Dakota, Brock. Now we know how to pronounce it, right? Man, I've known the name of Pierre, South Dakota since I was a little kid, right? You got to learn all the capitals.
Yeah.
Right? Pierre and Bismarck.
Pierre
South
and
Dakota,
Bismarck.
North Dakota. How would you remember that?
Topeka. You just go through them all.
But did you have a North Dakota, South Dakota thing to remember? I always thought Pierre sounds French. French sounds much fancier, Southern, kind of cool, warm. Like, that was sort of my thought process.
Wow, you just ran with it.
That was sort of how I would remember Pierre versus Bismarck.
You know about a skid or a loading?
No, I don't know anything about that, but I can name you the 50 capitals.
Yeah.
Let's give you guys everything you actually need to know.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, you heard from him. That's Grey Zabel, and he is the Seahawks' number 18 pick overall in this year's draft. What'd you think?
Yeah. I thought, I want to play with that guy.
Right?
Yeah, I want him blocking for me. Yeah, I want him to be a part of your organization. Wow. Yeah, just thoughtful, well-spoken, obviously bright, and he knows exactly what he is, right? Which is such a huge key. A lot of those kids, 32 of them drafted last night, a lot of those young men know who they are. Mm-hmm. They do. I don't know if you can know who you are better than that guy knows who he is.
Yeah, I like the combination of thoughtfulness, intelligence, ability to, joke around and have fun with at the root of it, kind of this ethos of tough, hardworking, squats and steaks. That's a quote that
Picking
I think Brock's going to remember, squats and steaks forever, right? That's right up your alley.
I am. So are you. So is everybody listening right now for the rest
steaks,
of your
man.
lives.
Oh, you need a little bigger? Squats and steaks.
3 plates, 4 plates, 5 plates.
Squats and steaks. That's amazing. That's like one of the best lines I've ever heard.
So simple, but so sweet.
But it's just perfect. Yep. And then the rock picking and everything else. Right now he's 6'6", 312.
Yeah.
He's going to play guard, not center, in the NFL. Could you think he ends up playing at 320, 325?
It's interesting. I think Hutch, again, you just kind of make that comp. One was picked at 17, one was picked at 18. The conversations that they had through the process. Hutch was always a guy, you see him now, he's like my weight, like 230, 225. I mean, he had to fight to eat to keep that weight on. To go from, what did he say, 244 when he walked in the door to 310 already?
Yeah.
Yeah, and to say, I know I'm going to play inside. I got 32-inch arms, so I'm probably going to slide inside in the NFL. Could he weigh 320? Sure. But the system more about movement and speed and agility and quickness. I don't think they're going to be putting him on a scale saying, oh, got to get you to 320. I think they're going to.
No, but it'd be interesting. Not that you want him to get him to 340, but I do wonder whether 5'10", whatever it is, as you start facing the men in the NFL, it's, again, 6'6", pretty tall. Right? So do you need just a little bit more on that frame, regardless?
Stakes and squats,
and a lot of movement and running that outside zone and using that athleticism, using that quickness. A lot to like from what we heard yesterday. And yes, he is going to be playing guard. That was one of the questions that was asked yesterday. Mike Macdonald answered it pretty succinctly.
He's going to start at guard and work interior. But the cool thing about Grey is he can play all 5 spots. Hopefully we're not moving around much. He sticks at guard for a long time here, but he does have that versatility.
Smart, tough, dependable. Holy smokes. That was 15 minutes of just oozing with that, and I think will play a role into some of the other picks today. I also loved when he kind of asked him about the big board, and he was excited for those other O-linemen. And understand, I think he even said that, right? Like, I just love that the league was prioritizing all of those big athletes, because all those big athletes, they got drafted all over the first round last night.
Yeah, pretty cool. Great pick for the Seahawks. Gets an A grade from me, and anytime he'd like to come on the air, I think a lot of people worried that he may take our job, mostly you and me. Like, that's a kid who could be doing radio one day. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so where do you want me to go with this?
Second thing. Yeah, this was a really nice way to cap it today. You don't see a lot of lower scoring games here in Fenway, but our guys pitched so well. I thought Wu was fantastic, through 6, and then handed it over to the bullpen, who's been very, very good here. And, those guys were able to slam the door.
Yeah, that's all true. I mean, they did what they needed to yesterday, and all 3 series wins on the road trip come after losing game 1. That's pretty cool.
I think a bit of resolve and grit, and to do it for the first time there in 11 years. That place has been a house of
horrors.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You want me to play some Dan Wilson cuss? See how many times he starts with
I don't want you
They've been very patient.
All right, not that one. Okay.
Outstanding.
Wow, I just played you that one. Hold on.
0 for 2.
Like we've said before, that's a good Bregman.
Wow, man, these are from today. Let's go back.
Yeah, whatever. So.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, we get
There's one.
I think it's
1 for 5. Yeah, you're wrong, Salk. Sorry about that.
I mean,
1 for 6.
Running this pitch.
Good try.
There's a lot in there, man. Trust me.
1 for 6. 1 for 7. Okay, push next.
I'm willing to put myself out there on this. Maura, you cut a lot of this out. Does he say yes a lot to start?
No.
Or yeah?
1 for 7. Here we go. Next.
Maybe it was more of a spring training thing.
Maybe.
I mean,
I guess maybe it's more. As I go through them.
1 for 8. Yep. Okay. Next.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Seriously, what's wrong with you? You're drinking too much of that coffee.
No, I love this time. Are you kidding me?
Too much of that coffee.
Honestly, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me is watching that draft and all those dreams come true and getting to talk to a young man like that. What was the hardest thing? What was your punishment growing up? Lyle, Maura, Salky, when you were punished, our guy had to go and get dropped off in a field.
There was never manual labor involved, I can tell you that.
Larry didn't say, Salk, get out there.
Do what? He wouldn't know what to do. What would he put? Manual labor? He couldn't even tell me to mow the lawn. He didn't have a lawnmower. It's like there's no option. I think I got grounded. Couldn't go out.
Yeah, I think grounding was the...
Might have lost my car, keys to the car or something.
Lyle, you have any physical punishment?
No.
Like what?
Pulling weeds? No pulling weeds?
No, No, there weren't weeds.
All right, fine.
I mean, the same person who mowed the lawn would pull the weeds. It wasn't me.
When
One of
Lyle
our
got
many
in trouble,
servants.
they made him watch shows and music that he might find useful.
Oh, which,
for
by the way,
pop
I did
culture references.
I did some asking around yesterday, and I got a lot of reviews saying you guys are crazy and living in a fantasy land. From people older than me in the next generation saying, no, people in their 20s should not know the things you guys are referencing.
Oh, interesting.
Yes,
So
they
this
should.
kid in Pierre, South Dakota, on his combine can listen to alternative rock, 70s and 80s. He can know bands. I'm sure he knows who Nirvana.
He knew all about Top Gun. I saw it on his
Yeah.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Ask him if he knows about whatever that ridiculous thing you guys were asking me about yesterday.
You don't think he's
was.
watched Leave It to Beaver?
No.
Silence of the Lambs.
No.
Go away. That's everything you need to know. I get a text from Lefko here who says, I don't know if we have the video budget, but Salk's Day at the Farm with Grey Zabel would break YouTube. I would absolutely fly to Pierre, South Dakota in order to spend a day at Grey Zabel's.
Are you going to
How long
tweet
before
out?
you start complaining about the temperature?
Well, it depends on the time of year.
Yeah.
If it's winter, very quickly. If it's summer, I'd be fine.
By the way,
If you can go to left, we're not going to get to do phone calls today. We did them at 6:30, so sorry for those of you who generally call in 9:30 on Fridays. But we do have another 20 minutes or so, Brock, to talk
What do you
through
want?
what's next.
What do you want
And now that we've spent the day on Grey Zabel, it's time to figure out what to spend day 2 on. That's coming up next on Brock and Salk.
The first round's in the books.
The Seattle Seahawks select Grey Zabel.
I'd ask Brock how he feels, but I think the world is aware.
This guy is your starting guard.
Today, live second and third round coverage starting at 4. Draft coverage continues on YouTube and the app at 5:30 when the Red Hot Mariners return home for the first of 3 against the Marlins on 7:10. The app lets you listen to both. Only on Seattle Sports.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. You'll hear that sound a lot at Queen Charlotte Lodge. Experience a luxury resort, breathtaking wildlife, spectacular wilderness, and amazing fishing at Queen Charlotte Lodge in British Columbia. Reserve now for peak king salmon runs and plentiful halibut this May and June. At Queen Charlotte Lodge, it's fishing first class. Go to fishqcl.com. That's fishqcl.com. And remember, our dollar is worth $1.40 north of the border.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of their National Red Tag Sales event, now extended through April 27th. Stop by any of their participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event, extended through April 27th. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Hundreds of vehicles on the ground, 8 dealerships, 14 brands, all in one location. Visit West Hills Autoplex. We have more brands in one location than anywhere else in Washington State, import or domestic, new or pre-owned. We make finding your perfect vehicle easy, and that means a remarkable car buying experience for you. Skip the hassle with West Hills' streamlined buying experience and feel confident buying from your neighborhood family-owned dealerships. West Hills Autoplex, Auto Centerway exit, Highway 3, Bremerton.
Jaden Schwartz for Techline Roofing. The ice may have melted, but spring is the perfect time for a new roof. Call Techline Roofing. Take advantage of our easy financing and our spring special. That's TEKLINE roofing.com.
At Cressy Door, we have the perfect garage door for you. Come visit our brand new garage door and fireplace showroom and let our experts help you find the perfect garage door. Cressy Door.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Baseball's back. It's time your yard stepped up to the plate. Synthetic Turf Northwest is Seattle's go-to for pro-quality turf. Perfect for backyard batting cages, putting greens, or just a mud-free play zone for the whole family. We install the best, we supply the best. And we're local-based in Woodinville with a new Fife location coming soon next to Sportco. Mention Seattle Sports and save up to $1,000 off your project. Visit syntheticturfnorthwest.com, where the grass is always greener.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
Everyone wants to get the best deal they can when they buy a car. But what about when you want to sell your car? Of course, you want to get the most money possible, but how do you get the most you can without trying to sell it yourself? Well, that's where my friends at Wayscar Ford in Auburn step in. Not only will they buy your car today, but that's just the beginning. Once they resell your old car, they send you another check for 50% of the profit of the sale of your old car. They've already given back over $750,000 to their customers. Mark, GM of Wayscar Ford, joins me, and it's such a great offer, but to clear up any confusion, is this like a consignment, and how can you offer this?
It's not a consignment, Stacy. A consignment, the dealer that's trying to sell your car hasn't paid you yet. We pay you right up front. No more insurance, no more maintenance. All that's gone. After that's done, we pay half the profit. It's that simple. There's no magic to this. All the money we're saving by not buying at auctions, the shipping fees and the travel, we're giving it back to you. That's how it works.
So get the most money possible at Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn and let them do the work.
Mariners baseball is officially back. Don't miss the biggest games at T-Mobile Park this season, like marquee matchups against the Yankees and Dodgers. Ichiro Hall of Fame weekend, August 8th through 10th. 6 fireworks nights and a stacked lineup of bobbleheads, Funko Pops, and exclusive giveaways. Plus, with Mariners value games, you can score seats starting at $10 on select dates all season long. Go to mariners.com/tickets to lock in your seats today.
A deep blast. This is gone. Home run. Julio.
4. The Oki Golf Platinum Players Card is the perfect gift for your favorite golfer to welcome back spring. With 7 prepaid rounds at any public Oki Golf Course location, including the Golf Club at Newcastle and Washington National Golf Club, along with 7 50% off guest passes and unlimited discount fees, the Players Card is the best value in golf. And now through April 30th, Oki Golf is offering 1 free bonus round with purchase of the Platinum Players Card. Visit okigolf.com today to secure one for you and your golfing loved one this April.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right. Day one is just day one. It's so I love how everyone gets all on their high horse. Day one is for the casuals and for the social media and for the entertainment value. Days 2 and 3 is when the real work gets done.
See, day one is where, a guy can look pretty, put makeup on, put a sport coat on.
Right.
Sit there and just blow your co-host away like you did, Sylvie.
Hey, no makeup for me
Sylvie's
yesterday.
hair is blown back. He can't believe all the knowledge that Salky's got in his head.
No makeup for me.
No
I
makeup?
didn't go any makeup.
Good.
No.
No makeup. All
No,
right.
just naturally beautiful is, I think, the way I always
But you know
describe
what?
myself.
The real draftniks, they work a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Stacy Salk right here.
Stacy and I are going to be here at 8 tomorrow morning, 8 to 11.
Give me your 22nd favorite corner.
Oh, yeah.
Go.
The B team is going to be on that. I'm going to do what I do every year when Stacy and I are in here at 8. After every pick the Seahawks make, I text Brock and say, who's this guy? What do you think of this guy?
Yes.
And then I repeat it. Steal his info.
Good. Awesome.
What are they going to be doing, Brock? When Stacy and I are in here tomorrow morning and they start drafting, what are they going to be doing? I should say, before then, what will they have done by then?
Well, they've got 4 right now. And you heard John Schneider last night. He kind of had to stop himself because there's still some real dudes on that board. And what's I think fascinating, we saw this a little bit, and you've said this a few times, I think everyone there would agree, man, with this run on linemen, we have got to. It's like when you, and I don't play a lot of chess, but I'm sure there's moves in chess where you're like, well, okay, this is what I've got to do. And when those pieces moved around, the 17 in front of them last night, like, well, this is obviously what we got to do.
It became pretty clear. Like, I don't know how many times I can say that today, but it's not enough. Like,
and last year, by the way, was pretty clear.
Right.
Here's 14 offensive players. Latu not medically cleared by us, so
he was gone anyway.
I know he was a pick before, so it's pretty clear. Like, here we go.
Take Byron Murphy. Like, this is pretty easy, pretty obvious. Take the best defensive player.
We're not screwing around. All this thought, like, John always screws around. Oh, he always does the unorthodox.
No
he
screwing
always
around.
does. No, there's no screwing around.
Not this year.
Nope.
And you couldn't. Again, maybe if the draft had gone differently, you could get cute, and maybe there was a way to pick up extra picks. Not the way it went down. Like, you take Grey Zabel, don't mess around, move on.
Yep.
But with 4 picks in rounds 2 and 3, and a lot of different opportunities and options and
here's what's
needs.
going to happen. Okay, so here's what's going to happen over the next 18 picks before the Seahawks pick.
Okay.
You've got to keep an eye on, and I said this earlier, and I think I feel very confidently about this. You've got to keep an eye on the runs at certain positions. So Bumpus made a great point last night on the show at about pick 13 or 14. He's like, well, from here on out, doesn't it feel like everybody's kind of the same? Like, you're just now in a herd. You're just in a herd of players. The first 10, 12 picks, there's an outlier. Woof, there's a Travis Hunter. There's a Abdul Carter. These guys are different. But now we're kind of getting to the point where everybody kind of looks and feels somewhat the same. The whole grading thing, right? The similarity between player 20 and player 50. I think those things are very true. But now, here's what you got to watch with the herd. You got to watch the herd, like 3 or 4 of these tight ends kind of break off. 3 or 4 of these running backs kind of break off. 3 or 4 of these receivers kind of break off. Because you're going to see, and DJ tweeted that this morning, and that's what's going to happen over the next 18 picks, Salk. You're going to see little mini.
How many wide receivers go in the next 18?
In the next 18?
4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, so the drop to 18 is a lot.
Yep.
If 4, 5, 6 wide receivers, how many corners? Probably not that many.
Lesser corners.
Okay, a couple of corners.
Tight ends, 3, 4. How many? And again, so once a few of them break off.
Because all the offensive linemen have been taken.
Largely.
Right? I mean, that's the biggest thing is like the first-round offensive linemen are all gone.
Correct.
There might be some second-round guys, and so that's got to be a conversation. A lot of the wide receivers are going to go. I still think that's a spot where you should be looking.
Running backs? There are a bunch of running backs.
Yeah, so that's why that was the reason I couldn't quite get with G of trading up to take a running back. Like, if there's a running back, I'm not saying you don't need a running back, couldn't use a running back. Trading up for a running back? I don't know about that, right?
So that's what I think between now, it's going to be fascinating. Like, last night was like, linemen, big people. How many of them are going to go? How many in this herd? How much are we going to thin this herd with all the big bulls going? They all went. And now it's like, okay, this herd's got a bunch of runners, tight ends, receivers, few corners, couple linemen left, a Tate Ratledge, Big Jonah I mentioned, like Jonah's a guy that is the last one, right, that I'm looking at here. The DJ's got ranked number 47, right? He had Donovan Jackson 41. He went.
Where was Jared Wilson?
Jared Wilson is at 55.
So that's not too far off.
Tate's at 62. So you kind of have those guys there. But yeah, it's going to be this thinning of the herd. And what do you really want? What is a Seahawks fan? Do you really want a tight end? Do you really want a receiver?
Well,
if you do, you know what you'd love to see? You'd love to see like 4 or 5 running backs go.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, I got a tight end or receiver.
But don't you think that's what you're doing here? You're letting the board continue to speak to you?
You do.
Right? I mean, like, hey, if all the wide receivers go, then you're looking at corner. And if all the defensive ends go, then maybe there's a shot at wide receiver.
That's right. And that's why that pick last night gives you this freedom.
Right.
Right? You're not sitting there today going, I have to get Tate Ratledge, or I have to. No. Like, we're good. We'll let this kind of herd play out.
But if you can get Tate Ratledge, great.
Be pretty
like,
cool.
that's a cool way to do it. And you still have room on your offensive line to spend another second-round pick on that.
Yep.
Or if it's, hey, look, wide receivers, maybe you do trade up for a wide receiver and then trade back. Like, there's some.
And there's going to be a bunch of teams, and they knew it going into this. There's going to be a bunch of teams, and hopefully it's San Fran and LA and Arizona going, doggone it, those freaking Seahawks. Like last year, a lot of the teams went, doggone it, those freaking Eagles. Howie got the best corner. He got one of the second best corners just because he had a multitude of picks right there in the sweet spot. There are going to be a bunch of teams that, depending on how this market runs, goes, really? John's sitting there at 50 and 52? Yeah, he's sitting at 50 and 52 because he traded DK, right? And he traded Geno. And he had that ammunition to take advantage of, a couple real, depending on how this kind of market twists and turns, a couple real sweet spots.
Yeah, the question, though, is, do you want to come up and say, because that 18 spots is a lot. I'm not going to lie. 18 still feels like a lot to wait to get to 50 and then eventually 52 right after it. That feels like a lot of time.
It does.
Where a lot is going to
where
change.
A lot of these players I've profiled are going to go like they did last night.
And then I start getting jealous. I don't like that. I don't know whether I need to trade all the way up to 34, as we were talking about earlier. And I think you scared me off of Nick Eamon-Worry.
Yep.
But trading up to 40?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, what does it look like to trade up 10 spots or 12 spots as opposed to trading up?
And it's easy to say that, but
spots.
that team that's sitting there is like, yeah, sorry, we're just not doing that.
Yeah, they may not want to.
Because this little herd that's running, these are one of the, so we say to do that. And I think on paper that can make sense. You got to have that partner, right? You got to have that other end going, yeah. And I think there's a bunch of teams here, some that traded out of the first round. They were like, I'm sorry, John, I'm just not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to take an overpay. Like, I got to get this starter, this player from my team right now.
All right, as I think through this, Brock, I got one last question I've got to ask you about the draft, specifically about today. I'll do it next. We'll finish this sucker up. It's a huge draft day extravaganza. Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710, Seattle Sports app as well.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2.
Aaron Goldsmith joining us now.
For the success that they are having, you can't necessarily pin it all on one guy or one group.
But it feels like we're seeing the Mariners win in multiple ways, which is different.
One of the things that's encouraging to me, they've won consistently in that stretch of time without their outlier strength.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Are you guys ready for luxury? It's Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Man, if you want some great food, great entertainment tonight, Friday, Saturday, the whole deal, get out to Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. It's only 30 minutes from downtown. And this summer, I mentioned entertainment. The Outdoor Concert Series is back, award-winning, with acts like Hanson, Austin Jenks, Melanie Fiona, and POD as well. All this summer overlooking that beautiful Snoqualmie Valley. Go to snocasino.com for tickets. And remember, Seattle's closest. It's now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Rick Riz here for the Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington's Improve Your Play program. Many of our local youth sports teams need help with field enhancements, training, and equipment. Local Pella owners Keith Dashafy and Luke Wilson are stepping up to donate $5,000 to 2 deserving teams. We need your help finding them. Head to seattlesports.com/play to nominate a deserving team in need. Let's help our local youth improve their play this year with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Contest and rules at seattlesports.com/play.
The Puyallup RV Show, May 1st through 4th. 400 new and used RVs, plus manufactured homes. Over 1,000 floor plan options. It's your best chance to save all year. Browse the exhibits, chat with the experts, free parking. Tickets at PuyallupRVShow.com.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
From groceries to home prices, the cost of living in Washington state keeps going up. Now, Olympia politicians are proposing the largest tax increases in state history. Don't be fooled. If taxes go up, we'll all pay even more. Washington needs lower costs, not higher taxes. Tell the politicians no by visiting www.affordablewashington.org. Paid for by the people for an affordable Washington. Top 5 contributors are Washington Alliance for Competitive Economy, Microsoft, Madrona, T-Mobile, and Amazon.
At O'Neill Plumbing, we've been exclusively plumbers for over 100 years. No corny mascots, no out-of-town owners. Just clean, fast, and professional plumbers out to your home fast. All rooter and all trenchless. O'Neill Plumbing.
Yeah, I have a ton of really memorable customers. One of my favorite customers I've ever had, he came in and had a really bad experience with several different dealerships. He just lost his husband. His husband left him with a truck, and he was like, I don't need a truck. Like, this is so impractical for me. And it was a really emotional decision for him because it was one of the last things that he had, obviously husbands. We were like, it's no problem. Like, we're going to help you. And we did the process the same way that we always do the process. And we helped him trade in his truck for a beautiful new Rogue. And that was really cool. And he bought his second car from us. And I'm sure when he needs a third car, he'll come back and buy his third car from Nissan too. Afterwards, to thank us, he sent us this beautiful basket of like candies and fruits and stuff.
Making a great day for the people around you is making a great day for yourself.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Announcing the Million Hour Volunteer Rally. G here, join me, Safeway and Albertsons, and donate your time and skills to support local food banks and host food drives or fundraisers. You can win free groceries for a year and a $5,000 donation to your favorite hunger relief agency. Visit albertsons.com/volunteer to learn more. Find volunteer opportunities and log your hours. 1,000,000 hours will help create food secure communities. Visit albertsons.com/volunteer.
Headed outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nellie on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on seattlesports.com.
Are insurance companies taking you for a ride? Literally? Don't let them destroy your financial future. If you've been in a car crash, Just Cause Legal is your weapon against greedy insurers. They don't care about you, but Just Cause Legal does. Time is running out. Get the compensation you deserve. Call 253-859-8899 now or visit justcauselegal.com. Don't wait until it's too late. Take back control and fight for what's yours. Meet your legal lifesavers. Just Cause Legal, fighting for you.
You think your home is pretty cool until that summer heat hits, and suddenly your home isn't that cool. In fact, it's hot. Air conditioning from Washington Energy Services can help. Stay cool this summer with our biggest spring savings event ever. This month only, take up to $3,500 off an energy-efficient Bryant cooling system with exclusive Washington Energy rebates. Ensure your home is always the cool house with air conditioning from Washington Energy Services. Contact us today for a free estimate.
At Chain Company, we know getting engaged is a big decision. But once you know, you know. That's the way our customers feel when they choose a Chain Company engagement ring. They walk into a warm welcome and walk out with their dream ring, knowing they got it right. For almost 100 years, we've been offering personalized shopping experiences. And we're in it way past the honeymoon, with a free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, cleanings, repairs, and resizing for life. Shop with us at shaneco.com or at your neighborhood store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hope springs eternal during the start of the season, but unfortunately, so do spring allergies. Hey, it's Dr. Ryan Stern of the Stern Sinus Center. Let us fix your ear, nose, and throat problems. Let's make your congestion, sinusitis, snoring, and allergies a non-issue. We can diagnose and treat everything from allergy testing and treatments to modern nasal breathing procedures to advanced balloon sinuplasty. Come and see us in Federal Way and Auburn or at sternsinus.com. That's sternsinus.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, round one done. Rounds 2 and 3 tonight. 4, 5, 6, and 7 all tomorrow. I'll be on with Stacey Ross tomorrow morning from 8 to 11. And then, Maura, you're on after that, right?
Yes,
with Lefko and Curtis. That's going to be fun. Yeah, wrapping up the draft. So a lot of good stuff still left to come here on Seattle Sports. Brock, 4 picks today, at least to start. I'll ask you 2 questions about it. Number 1, what do you need to do to become and continue to become a Mike Macdonald team? I've talked about the need to get great on D and to just fix the freaking offensive line as sort of being my 3 real, goals for this weekend. What do you need to do to really continue to become a Mike Macdonald team? Who fits that?
Smart, tough, dependable. And I know that's a little cliche, and that's what he's going to say. But team, that was all over the walls last night. Team pictures all over the walls last night. I don't want an individual, right? I don't want a lone wolf. I want a Grey Zabel. I want a team. I'll continue to kind of reinforce what I said because John has said it a few times there in pressers and everything else is, look at salary cap stuff. The rest of, we just land again on this pick and these 4 picks and Saturday's picks. And it's nope, in their puzzle, in their scheme of things of how they put everything together, is there still possible trades? Are there other guys that on other rosters that maybe look to move on your, vice versa? So, yeah, we do, rightfully, because it's right here in the windshield. These 4 picks, that pick last night. But there's a whole kind of puzzle to put together. Smart, tough, dependable.
The other sort of question for you here is we've gone through all the different ways you could try to divide up these next 2 or next 4 picks, right? Assuming you make them all. And, look, we've talked about some real important positions for them. I still think they need a wide receiver. I know that that's going to shock people, but I do think they need a wide receiver, just not at 18.
Yep.
Like, wide receiver's not irrelevant. It's just that I think you're making a really bad statement by taking one yesterday instead of today. So wide receiver's a need.
I'm going to be likely watching the draft with somebody tonight during that time. And if they draft Jalen Noel, that guy might get punched. Like in the arm.
All right.
I'm not in the face.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, or fist.
Just a little fist.
Like a real hard fist pound.
All right. So, look, wide receivers a need. That's something you could do today in the second round. Another offensive lineman. Absolutely still in play, right? Something you could really use, especially if what's Big Jonah? I know you've mentioned him a few times.
Just call him Big Jonah.
I'm just going to go with Big Jonah from Arizona.
Yep.
And maybe
the Rattler.
Maybe it's the Rattler, Tate Ratledge. Maybe it's Jared Wilson, the center.
The Rattler and Zabel. Whoa.
Corner, the problem is tight end is another position we know is going to be important to this offense. I don't like that all three of those are offensive players. That's the only real challenge I have. Like, I still want to make sure you're making that defense dominant and really great. But if that's not the way the draft goes, it's not the way the draft goes. Here's my last question for you. What about quarterback?
No. I don't think so.
You just can't do it.
No, I don't think you use one of these four. Now, we get to the fourth round Saturday, and you're in here, and Will Howard is in the fourth round. And you guess what? You don't have to text me about Will Howard.
No,
you
I
actually
won't. I know
him.
about Will Howard.
Yeah, you know Will Howard.
Watch him play.
Yeah.
Blink Scout.
Blink scouting.
Blink scouting.
And
Will Howard.
And, he's got, Bumpus loves him. People just love him. Like, I just love that guy, right? I just want to be around that guy. I guess that's also maybe the Mike Macdonald. I'd add that. Smart, tough, dependable, and magnetic. I want to be around that guy. I want this guy in the building. When he talks about it's all about ball, we want guys that want ball. I want people there that all kind of magnetize. And there's no lone wolf out there.
So you think Shedeur gets picked before 50?
I don't know, man.
Crazy. I still think he goes to Vegas, but okay. You think Jalen Milroe's still there at 50 and 52?
I think so.
Okay. You still think that he's there at 80 and 92? Or 82 and 92, whatever it is?
Probably. I think he probably goes before 80 or 92.
Okay, so if you were to
somewhere between 52 and 80, yeah.
And so do you think if you had a pick in there, if you had a pick in the 70s, would you want to do that? In the 60s, something like that?
I think you entertain it based on what you've done.
52 is too early.
It is your same boat of you've earned the right to take that risk. You've earned the right to have that much fun. Is this roster, Mike Macdonald, year two, what you've committed to Drew Lock and Sam Darnold, are you at a place where, like, you've earned the right to take a flyer on Jalen Milroe? I don't think so. There's probably some other place. Maybe the Rams have, with Stafford in the final year of his deal. And maybe they've earned the right to take that kind of risk. I don't think you do because of still tight ends, corners, linemen, receivers, to your point. G's not crazy either now. G got some people, right?
I know. Running back. He kept saying running back.
G works around there.
Look, I'm not against them drafting a running back, although that would make, a lot of second-round running backs all in this team. I'm not against them drafting a running back.
They take a second-round running back. A second-round running back becomes expendable.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I'm not against them trading or taking a second-round running back.
Okay.
I think I'd be against trading up for one.
Yes.
In a draft that you've told me has all of these different runners, the kid from UCF, a couple kids from Ohio State, there's a few more that I know you've mentioned. What's the kid from
Kansas State and Iowa? And yes, there's a lot.
What's the
Neal from Kansas?
What's the receiver? Is that Texas?
Jaden Blue. Home run hitter.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, like, it just feels like there are enough different flavors that you don't need to trade up for that.
Agreed.
But I'm not against taking a running back. But if you have to ask me today, I'm just going to say, another offensive lineman and wide receiver.
That'd be awesome.
Right. And so what do you need to have happen in order for that to occur? You probably need a run on defensive ends and edge guys, right?
And there's a bunch of those, and DJ has kind of referenced that. There are still a lot of defensive linemen. Remember that whole comment about 24 starters, a defensive tackle in this draft? And so, if you're a Seahawk fan, and I think I'm right there with you, man, rowing that same oar in the boat. First two picks today, another old lineman and receiver, or a tight end and receiver. Give me those two guys. That means you want to run on running backs and a run on those defensive
ends. And then tomorrow you could talk about running back, cornerback, linebacker, things that are important.
Yep.
By the way, linebacker in the second round, wouldn't mind that either if the right guy is there. Like, again, just going to keep coming back to the same points of view. What's the goal? Turn this into a Mike Macdonald team. Get great on defense, get dominant on defense, and make sure your offensive line is fixed. After that, yeah, you could use a receiver, but if you don't get one, it's not like your season doesn't work. You could use a corner, I think, quite a bit. Like, you could use a tight end, but if you don't get the tight end, like, you got some tight ends. Like I think you can kind of handle everything else. You needed to get the offensive line fixed. And then to me, it becomes, how do I make this a dominant defense? And how do I make this a Mike Macdonald team?
Who's going to take a stronger, longer nap this day? Michael Salk or yours truly?
It's going to be Brock Hewitt. I don't know if there is a nap in store for Michael Salk today. I know.
What?
I've got a concert for Cecily. She's playing the saxophone.
Nice.
Yeah. So I got a little concert to go to.
Okay. School concert. Yeah.
I mean, it's not like a
day concert, not a night.
No, it's like 1:45. Whoa, terrible timing.
Holy smokes.
I know. I had my choice of going yesterday or today. And I chose today because I wanted to make sure I was like kind of up and ready.
Buttoned up.
I didn't need Paul Sylvie showing me up yesterday on TV.
No.
Man, that guy looks good, doesn't he?
Still
looks great.
Golly.
Man, Paul looks good.
Yep.
Fun to work with.
That's a fun day.
Easy to work with. Like, really easy. Really easy.
Are you done here? Are we done here, Lyle?
I think we're done.
Lyle, am I going to see you at the ballpark tonight?
Yeah.
You'll be at the ballpark tonight recording stuff on the field?
I'll be there.
Oh, good. Can't wait.
Is Cam Scatterby going to be a Seahawk next time we're on the airwaves?
Stick around. You guys will find out. Bump and Stacy up next. Stacy and I'll be with you guys tomorrow morning, 8 to 11. Maura Dooley with Curtis and Mike Lefko right after that. Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the draft. We'll talk to you Monday in the hay.
In Pierre, South Dakota is in the barn.
See everybody.
Get to the chopper!
For Down Territory, going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
Who's a player the Seahawks should absolutely look at if he's available at 18?
I don't think he's going to be there, but I'm looking at linebacker Jalen Walker. He can rush off the edge, he plays in the middle, and he plays with that type of energy that Ernest Jones gives me. And you need depth at that linebacker spot. So if Jalen Walker's available, I don't think he's going to be available, but I've seen some mocks where he is. You got to take a look.
For Down Territory, every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hundreds of vehicles on the ground, 8 dealerships, 14 brands, all in one location. Visit West Hills Autoplex. We have more brands in one location than anywhere else in Washington State, import or domestic, new or pre-owned. We make finding your perfect vehicle easy, and that means a remarkable car buying experience for you. Skip the hassle with West Hills' streamlined buying experience and feel confident buying from your neighborhood family-owned dealerships. West Hills Autoplex, Auto Centerway exit, Highway 3, Bremerton.
At O'Neill Plumbing, we've been exclusively plumbers for over 100 years. No corny mascots, no out-of-town owners. Just clean, fast, and professional plumbers out to your home fast. All rooter and all trenchless. O'Neill Plumbing.
At Cressy Door, we have the perfect garage door for you. Come visit our brand new garage door and fireplace showroom and let our experts help you find the perfect garage door. Cressy Door.
Hey, it's me, the foul pole at T-Mobile Park. But it's about time they call me the fair pole, because those are the moments I live for. When Cal's up to the plate, I'm always on high alert.
The big dumper with a 2-run blast.
And then there's Randy Arozarena, launching missiles into the stands, flipping his bat so high it practically reaches my eye level.
Blasted back, Randy Arozarena strikes again.
And J-Rod? Heck, When he connects, he makes the whole building shake.
And it's gone. Goodbye, baseball. Julio Rodriguez.
So come on down and take a seat beside me. You might even go home with a souvenir. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
The Mariners are back in town, and you won't want to miss two great giveaways as they take on the Marlins. Score a City Connect Captain's Hat tonight at 6:40 and a Moose Shoulder Plush tomorrow at 6:40. Plus, grab value game seats for just $10 Tuesday and Wednesday against the Angels. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news to stats to placing bets in a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.